somebody who turned in abuse on their kid. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know, Justin, have you talked about? I don't know if you told the audience this, but at the same time that this is going on with Daryl Doherty, there was a grandmother who got her grandkid dropped off to her. I don't know if you've heard this.
I have not
Grandmother
heard.
got her Okay, she gets her granddaughter dropped off to her. She looks at her and thinks there's something going wrong. Takes the granddaughter to the doctor. The doctor takes the granddaughter to another doctor. They call it HS. They substantiate abuse. The person, my understanding, abuser, shows back up to grandma, wants the kid back. Grandma says, "Hey, kid's in state custody. Explain what happened." The abuser goes down to sheriff. Sheriff goes to the district attorney. The district attorney writes up a writ, sends to with the deputy to the grandma and says, "Hey, you bring that kid back." Well, the grandma said, "I can't bring the kid back. The kid's in state custody." Then they turn around and arrest grandma for protecting her grandkid, for calling ditches, for doing what's right. Grandma goes to jail. He goes to jail, and Butler gets 150 hours community service. Now that's when you put that up. When you put these cases up in comparison, when you compare the whole deal, when you take the whole thing in totality, that's when you really start getting extremely mad. That's when you get fired up. Or that's when I get fired up. That's the stuff we're running into.
Let me ask you this. So, you had gone back, or a few minutes ago, you were talking about the OBI and getting involved, and how, like you said, there's going to be good agents there and there's going to be bad agents there. That's just kind of how it is. And this whole thing has kind of reminded me. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago back in South Carolina, the Alec Murdaugh case, and where he was getting away with financial crimes for years, eventually murder, and finally the feds came in on with federal charges, and that's how they finally got him, because in South Carolina, despite the fact that he'd been running these games for decades, they ever just looked the other way. Fed did everything else. And so sometimes it takes getting the feds in. But when you look at somebody like Jason Reese, who we've talked about, that, if I'm understanding correctly, was appointed by Governor Stitt, right? And before that, he was Governor Stitt's personal attorney. So when you're trying to get these grand juries and get changes done, and I'm not trying to implicate the governor here by any stretch, but when it's people who are close personal friends of his or whatever, how does it get to a point where he's going to be willing to do anything to, or allow anything to be done to these people if he knows them? And Reese, I think, is a really prime example of that.
Well, and again, I mean, we're just talking. I mean, we're just talking, okay? And you're bringing up a super good point, that this guy is going to be, when we're talking about political influence, Judge Reese is as close. He's got straight ties to the governor. He's been his attorney. He was appointed by him. So no question, there's close ties to the governor. Then you turn around and hey, everybody's speculating. So I'll just say it. I don't know if anybody's said it out there publicly, but I can tell you everybody's talking about it privately, is that, when the governor gets done being the governor, he may end up being the president. They're looking for president of OSU. So when you're sitting there talking about, okay, and then you talk about who went to school with who at OSU, and who's close friends, and who text each other, and who, what I'm saying, and all of this stuff happening. And again, it's not just the governor on this grand jury petition. Hey, we included lots of political powerhouses. And again, I'm not saying they did anything illegal. I'm saying that there's some sketchy stuff going on that needed to be looked at. Why that they did things, just like on this right here. Is it illegal? Did the judge do something illegal? No, but did they do something unethical? Did they do something that just doesn't look right? And if we investigate it, then we might find there is something there that was possibly illegal. but we want to know why did you do that. You come in, let's hear you under oath describe why you did that, and also let's look at your phone records. Let's look at other people's phone. You know what I'm saying? And those kind of things that can be tracked. People don't realize, just like what I'm talking about with these elected officials. I go back and pull up who donated money, and you know what? I go back 4 or 5 years, and if I find that this one person has donated a truckload of money for the last 10 years to this, to a political person that has ability to wipe away their kid's record or put them in drug court, which is the third time, which seems really gross, misuse of justice. But now if you see, oh well, that guy's dad donated a bunch of money here, okay, that puts a little different light on it. Now we have a little different conversation. Are you gonna say here and say that didn't come part of? Are you gonna say that you shouldn't recused out of this case? How close are you? And again, it may not be that hard to prove that they have a relationship, like a very, very close relationship, and that's what I want to do, and I'm decent at doing that. You know what I'm saying? I think most people at the Capitol will say I'm a pretty decent investigator, finding stuff and digging up stuff, and again, it's not really. This is pretty low hanging fruit. This is not a major investigation. This is just going in there looking. But I can tell you the stuff that we're talking about publicly is pretty bad, and we're not even talking about stuff. I know some cases that go as far as murder and things like that are very, very questionable. I received an anonymous letter today, and I wish I'd printed it off because it's talking about people being burnt, their bodies being burnt, taken down to another state and kicked out, and that they knew. I mean, the guy went in and told them, hey, they were going to kill him, and guess what? He got killed, and nobody's went to jail, and nothing has happened. And so you got these type of cases that may be 17, 18 years old. Let me give you one, Penn County, that I'm working on that goes to the heart of what we're talking about. So they had a murder, I think back about 17, 18 years ago. I had to go back and look, 2000 something, 2000. I'd be a liar. Anyways, what happened there in Oklahoma City? You had two females who enticed two males to go up to a room with them, and they were indicating they were going to have sex with them to go up this room to entice them to this room. They had two other guys, the Woods brothers, waiting in the room, and what they planned to do is do a robbery. They were going to rob them. It's the old setup type deal. And so they went up there, and the robbery went bad, and one of these people got killed. So they're going to have a trial murder. So one of the females had a prior record, one of them didn't. But they're going to use the one with the prior record to testify against these other two guys. One of them is Tremaine Wood. Tremaine did not kill the person. His brother killed the person. But brother gets life and Tremaine gets the death penalty. Now go figure that out. That's kind of a head scratcher right there. But anyways, Tremaine gets the death penalty. Well, in order to make this person that's testify against him, the woman who was involved in the whole thing, plotted everything, they all planned it out. Okay, so in order to make her a good witness, what they needed to do is get that criminal record off of her so she could take witness stand and say, I don't know felony. Well, here's the deal, the probation officer. So I read the probation officer's report, and the probation officer says she violated every stinking rule of probation. I mean, he says every rule of probation she violates. And anyways, they go in, and not only did she violate, but he also wrote in there she's involved in a murder, a conspiracy to rob, and a robbery. So you violated every rule, plus a little murder, plus a little conspiracy to rob and robbery. And they walk into the courtroom. The DA walks into the courtroom, says, "Your Honor, she successfully completed probation, and we would recommend her case be expunged." Now, guess what? That's perjury.
Yeah.
That's a lie on the court. That's perjury. That's a crime right there. That is a crime. Then they march her down there knowing all this lie and present her as a person that has no record. So not only does that DA lie, but the DA in Oklahoma City lies and presenting her. And again, here's the jury. They don't know all this, so they're weighing all this in, saying, "Oh, this person's, you know." And then they said, "Well, she's going to get 45 years." Well, she didn't get no 45 years. She made some kind of back alley deal. They changed the whole deal, and she got a whole lot less time. It appears. So we write the AG on all that and tell them, well, guess what? No, doesn't matter. We're not going to do anything. We're going to execute this guy. He's scheduled for execution next month, I think. And another thing, we send it all over to the AG, and it's him having back communications, improper communications with the appellate court. So you're not supposed to be talking. It's called ex parte. You can't talk without all the lawyers present. So here's AG talking ex parte with one of the appellate judges. The judge ought to know they ain't not, you can't do that, but yet both of them are doing it and doing it by email. I mean, even stupid doing it, doing it by email. So we've got those emails. So that's you know what I'm saying? But yet they're moving right ahead with the execution and saying, "Hey, there's nothing to see here. Y'all just keep walking," And so that's kind of stuff. I support the death penalty. I support the death penalty, but you can't execute people when you got crooks and liars and perjurers and people who misuse justice, And so again, that's straight out of Payne County. That's another one that to say, okay, here's the reason why we've got to have somebody come in here. I hope we get this moved up to the federal level on a grand jury. That's what I want. That's what we're working on.
I think that's the only way you're going to probably end the corruption in this is if you bring feds in, because the nice thing about the feds is you can't pay them off. In Oklahoma or any state, you can pay off the, like the Bureau of Investigation to that state. You can pay off the OSBI. I'm in Tennessee. You can pay off the TBI, but you can't pay off the feds. And when you get fed charges, you prove 85% of the time on that.
Well, and again, here's the deal. Sometimes the feds are even very political when they pick somebody from Oklahoma. There's still politics. I've seen the feds, not follow through like they should. I've worked a lot with federal agencies and numerous federal agencies. But here's the thing. I think they're less likely to be corrupt. I think we have a new administration. I think that they are trying to root out corruption. And so I think this would be right up their alley right now if we can get the grand jury. And what I'm hoping, I want to put the whole Supreme Court. The whole Supreme Court has had all of this sent up to them. We've sent every bit of this, Daryl's case, all these other cases, this waterboarding stuff. We've sent it all to them, and they've just denied it. They just ignored it. Again, here's all this stuff of how we've had a corrupt, we confirmed this and we certified it. No, you didn't. That's a lie, and I told you it's a lie, and you totally ignored it, and you went ahead and did it anyways and killed this. You let people judge lecture this for a long time, and Judge Reese, he's a friendly enough guy. I have issue. I take big issue with him on the things that he does. I think they're corrupt. I tell him I think they're corrupt. Not trying to go behind his back. I think he pretty much knows. I've been right there in court with him, and say, hey, that's not right. I 1,000% disagree with you. Put it on the record, Judge, and I don't think you're right. So again, but he's got to be held accountable, and we've got to put him on the grand jury. And we've sent all of that up to the Supreme Court to say, look what this judge did. This is what's wrong. The Supreme Court has taken no action, never ruled in our favor. And so again, I think we had to put the entire Supreme Court. So how are you going to put the Supreme Court on in Oklahoma? How are you going to have the first deputy of the AG in there, former speakers and the current speaker and the head of the Supreme Court and all these judges down here? I mean, we're going to look at 4 or 5 judges down here, the district attorney. How you going to get a fair trial in Oklahoma on that? I don't think you can. So again, that's what I'm saying. We need to have a federal grand jury. I don't mind going and getting the signatures. I don't mind doing that kind of work. I don't mind my name being put out there, but we need to get a federal grand jury and get it out of the hands of Oklahoma. And I think what you're saying is true. I think it's the only way you're going to see any kind of justice come to this case.
And you said something, and I don't want to get into this discussion right now, but I think that this could be another conversation for us on a different day. And I just want to put this in your ear. You were talking about the federal agents, and you've seen it not go the way that it should. It's gone sideways a little bit. I know that in Oklahoma, you all have a lot of indigenous people, and I know there's a big struggle with indigenous people and federal authorities. And I just want to put that on your radar for a discussion on a different day if you're up for that.
I'm gonna tell you something. Let's talk about all the allegations of kids human trafficking and what's going on with how many indigenous people are missing and all of those kind of things, and why we're not doing more. Let's talk about the biggest grant that I think's been received by tribe to place undocumented children, and how many of those children are gone, and how many in Oklahoma. Yeah, that's a scary conversation to have. And a lot of people are really scared to have that conversation. But I think it's a conversation we need to have without accusing, because we don't have, again, we just need to say, hey, what do we know and what do we not know? And is it worth? That's what's so bad. You can't even have a conversation anymore. Everybody's ready to go sideways, even if you suggest one thing. And for me, just call out the truth. Let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? If it's untrue, hey, I've been the subject of a grand jury. I had a grand jury. Guess what? Wasn't pleasant. Didn't like it, but it worked out. It worked out good. And at the end of the day, you know what? It made me a better person, not a worse person, because it made me, used to, I was one of these guys. If the DA sent you down, you're guilty. If you were charged, you were guilty. Everybody's guilty. You know what I'm saying? After I went through that process, guess what? I learned, hey, there's a reason why we have that 4th Amendment and that 5th Amendment. And guess what? Now I'm a constitutional man now. I'm like, hey, there's a reason that we have these protections, the 2nd Amendment. We don't want to abuse those. You have the right to remain silent, and we're going to seek the truth. And wherever that investigation takes us, that's where we go with that investigation. And if that means you get off, that means you get off. And if it means I got to put the handcuffs on, then I put the handcuffs on. That's just the way she is. And that's what we need in this. That's what we need. We just need truth and accountability. That's what I'm after, is truth and accountability.
Well, I'll tell you this. We'll schedule. I mean, we're not. This is just me putting this on your ear again. We'll figure out a time that we can have the MMIW discussion as well. But there's actually an attorney that I know has done, I think, over 1 million hours of pro bono work for tribes. I think she's out of New Mexico. Maybe we'll bring her on that conversation as well.
I would love to have that, and we'll try to get to a computer and have better screen. It's so dark next time, and maybe I'm out campaigning for lieutenant governor. I'm about 3 hours away from the house. Doing the speaking, and so while I was up here, I went by Stillwater and got all that paperwork. Guys, there's so many cases. Justin, I know you know some of them. I know you described some of them, but maybe you really haven't even hit. We just tip the iceberg. What's going on?
You and I are going to have a lot of work to do, I feel. And somebody's asking, so let's go back to Butler for a moment. People want to know, and I can answer some of this, and then you can chime in. They want to know, can they recharge Jesse Butler, or they can't recharge Jesse Butler, right? I'll throw the comment up here. I don't know if you can see it because you're on your phone, but they can't recharge Jesse Butler, right? But they can charge the DA and judge, right? So the answer to that is yes, they could recharge the judge and DA or they could charge them if there's evidence of something to be charged. So obviously I'm not going to sit here on this live and make accusations about attorneys and judges. I'm not that stupid. But what I can say is we can have an open discussion as to things that just don't necessarily look right. Now, as far as Jesse Butler goes, there are caveats to that. So you cannot go back and recharge him for what he's already been charged for. That's double jeopardy.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
let me jump in right there. You said a while ago that there's a third person that's never come forward.
Yep.
So
That's what I was getting
guess
to.
what? Right there is if if the DA, if you got another prosecutor in here who wanted to prosecute him, there's always, if you're thinking, there's always an angle, there's always a way to do get around stuff. Now, yes, if the judge and the DA were found guilty of somehow accepting bribes, doing something illegal, then yes, I think that you could petition to set aside that sentencing if you could prove that it was done illegally. Now, proving that would be, yeah, and it is possible. That is possible. I suspect a lot less pocket money bribery. I would suspect more favoritism, more political favor. Doing your good friend favor. We all know each other. We all went to school together. I need you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. That kind of that's what I think would happen. And again, when you get into that, trying to prove that was, behind that, trying to actually say, we know for sure. Now, if you can intercept, I talked about a while ago, intercept some emails, text messages that show that and show that it was done for that. Again, you're getting right there on that bribery thing, or you're getting on that illegal. You're certainly on misconduct. And again, I don't know, just because the judge was guilty of misconduct, that you can set aside that sentencing. I'm pretty certain it's unlikely. So for me to sit here and say that you could set this sentencing aside, I would say very unlikely. But if that third person, and I will tell you this, I told a mother this today, I think is today or yesterday. They're all running together. But you alluded to this a while ago, Justin. When we come out publicly, like what you have done with this case, when you come out publicly, there's people out there sitting there that was scared to come forward, or thought they were the only ones, and thought that they would be ridiculed, or and again, the court had made it easy for people to come forward. So we make it easier if we can do stuff where people go, oh yeah, I could see they would do something. I think they're probably going to be more women because you don't catch somebody generally on their first DUI, their second DUI. Generally, they've been out there drinking quite a while. And if I remember, I'm going to go back a few years to my training, but I want to say that they used to train us that a sex offender had probably committed 300 acts by the first time you catch them. Now, I may be off base on that. Y'all, somebody Google up, see if old J.J. Humphrey knows what he's talking about. Because we're going back. I've been out of that business for 15 so years now. So here's the deal. What I'm trying to say is, when you look at his record, and you look at what we know, I would be more shocked if there wasn't more victims, than I would if there were more victims. I would almost guarantee you there's victims out there that haven't come forward, that need to hear this, and we need you to come forward. And if they did, that's when you get some justice. That's when you get another bite at the apple. And that's how I would say, if I was a prosecutor, that's what I would be looking for. If I was the police and wanted to do something on this case, those are the things that I would be putting out, that if there are other victims, we're asking you to come forward.
And I'll take it one step further than that. If there are other victims, because there's a lot of people in Stillwater, Oklahoma, watching this right now. So if you're a victim, or you know somebody who was a victim and you're still hesitant to come forward, I understand that and I respect that. If you want to reach out to me directly, do it through my email. I will keep you anonymous. I will give you JJ's phone number, And then this could be something that, this any type of moving forward with being against this person, this individual, will be handled with kid gloves and very strategically, so that you're not putting yourself in a bad position. So that's what I will say. I promise you, I will keep anonymity. I've done that with everybody else who has come forward and told me something when they asked that. I would do the same for you, and we'll get you to JA, and then you guys can kind of figure out how to move forward where you know that somebody's going to be there in your corner who understands the justice system and can make sure that proper charges are handled. Because right now, this is one of those situations where I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm not liked by a lot of people in Payne County right now, and I'm okay with that.
It'll be a horse race. It'll be a good horse race between me and you.
I'm sure both of us. Well, yeah, you're physically there, though I'm not. So I guess you probably a little bit more than me. But I have a feeling they're going to all be dotting their I's, crossing their T's, and minding everything the way they need to, because right now there's a giant lens on them. That not just America, like I said at the beginning, as I think I told you today too. Somebody told me yesterday, that they saw the story on their local news in Oslo, Norway. So this has made it to Europe, to their local news.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable, man. That's just wow. But again, I'm going to tell you that it is, when people hear this, 75 years to 150 hours community service. It's just like, there is no way. There is no way. How do you justify? How can you even with a straight face do that? You know what I'm saying? And there can be everybody, oh, well, it's this. No. There's no way. I've been in criminal justice. You know what's really crazy? And before I even say this, I do want to say, I'm just like Justin. If you contact me and you don't want to go forward, I'll respect that. You know what I'm saying? I will respect. If you want to stay private, you want your name totally kept out of stuff, you're just wanting to tell us some information. We like information. Of course, we would like you to go forward. And that's what I think protects the community and protects others from the same thing happening. But at the end of the day, we're going to respect you. You're the victim, and we're going to move forward with you and try to help you, get you any help that we can. But here's what I was going to say, Justin. I've been in the criminal justice business 35 years, and I've been all over the state on stuff, and I have never in my lifetime, in 35 years, I've never seen victims have to hire attorneys to get charges filed. Victims to have to hire attorneys to go to court with them to represent them, to make sure they're not doing them wrong. The victims, not the not the criminals. The victims are having to go out and hire, and not one. I mean, I know 2 or 3 that are hired attorneys to go represent them, to make sure that the charges are filed, to make sure that they do an investigation, to make sure things are done right. And these are multiple. I mean, I'm talking, I think there was 3 that have told me that they've had to do that. That just blows my mind.
Well, I'll give you one that you may or may not know. In the Butler case, when they went to court and he was leaving, they made the victim stay back so he could be escorted out of court, and they wouldn't escort the victims.
That, you know what I'm saying? That right there speaks volumes. That speaks volumes right there. Unbelievable. Again, you can tell, I mean, just in the cases that we've talked about, 11 protective orders on a young girl, a teenage girl, 11 protective orders on a 30-year-old man who has a previous sex offense of which he violated by having sex with this girl. And guess what? Not a damn thing done to him. And he gets out and violates again. And now he's in jail on DUI.
Yeah.
It's my understanding. That's what he's in jail on. DUI is what I was told.
That's my understanding too. And like you said, 11 times, each time 500, 1,000. The thing is, when you look at it from that perspective too, when you have judges issuing protective orders and they continue to violate those protective orders, I get fine. Maybe one time there was a slip up, whatever, but 11 times you're way past that. But that's blatantly defying the judge. That's blatantly defying the court and the respect for the bench, and why a judge would allow somebody like that to continue to bond out, especially when they're on probation, just absolutely blows my mind.
Well, here's the deal. If you're average Joe out there and you and your wife ain't getting along, and your wife gonna call in every time you blink at her, so you go pick a kid, okay, maybe not 11 times. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If I'm judge, I'm gonna be like, hey, son, we gonna have to cut. This ain't gonna cut it. We ain't gonna do this. We ain't gonna go down this road 5 or 6 times. I mean, 3 times, maybe. But somewhere around that third time, I'm going to be like, hey, I know I got a good old country list, but we're not getting our communication across here. Something's got to get done. But now, he ain't the average guy. This guy is a sex offender who is targeted. Yes. So, yeah, I mean, this guy's a sex offender. He is out and has sex again with a minor. That makes him a pedophile. That makes him a sexual predator. Guess what? He don't get one. First time he violates, he is going to jail. Period. If I'm the judge. Period. Second time he violates, you going to jail for a long time. Third time, we're violating your probation. You're going to prison. That's where I'd be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you, and especially in the first. And you know what's interesting? I'll share this with you. I haven't really shared this. I did this in a Substack article earlier today. When I first posted about this guy, Seth Swaim, right here, his aunt reached out to me. I didn't respond, but I saved the screenshots where she's defending him, saying that this was a consensual relationship and she lied and she did this. And I'm like, and I didn't respond, but I kind of wanted to be like, ma'am, there is no world where a 30-year-old man has any business near a 16-year-old girl. I don't care what you want to call it. But that's not what it was.
Well, so first of all, that he has a previous sex offense.
Yeah.
So you got to say he's a sex offender, and his sex offender rules are going to say you can't do this kind of behavior, and not to be around kids, not to have all this stuff. Again, there's more evidence. There's evidence there that shows that he had sexual relationship, and again. She's a minor. I think I'd have to go back and look at the age for sure, but I think this girl was a minor, and therefore, yeah. So again, here we have a sex offender targeting females, targeting young people, and again, the person writing that, why would they put a protective order? Why would he continue to violate the protective order? Why would a sex offender put himself in that position? I mean, it's insane what's going on. And so, it's just, why would he do that? Why would any of this be going on? And the biggest question is, okay, Aunt sounds like she's got some issue going on. Sounds like she's probably got some old grudge. Sounds like she's sucking on old grudge or something. You know what I'm saying? But again, why the aunt? Who cares? Why is the judge? You know what I'm saying? This judge is supposed to be in a position where they see this, where they're supposed to. And again, you mentioned it a while ago in the criminal justice business. What you look for when you're investigating things, you look for the same thing. You look for patterns. You look for patterns of abuse. You look for patterns of whether they're breaking in, whatever crime, you're looking for them doing the same thing over and over again. And when we're looking at these judges, what you want to look for, could you have a bad day? Did you have a fight with your wife, or did you somebody die in your family or something? Everybody has bad days. You might make a bad call every once in a while. On a sex offender, I don't think I would. I really don't think. If I was having a bad day, I think I'd stop and say, as a probation officer, I did this one time. I had a guy come in. I was so mad when he come in. And I told him, I said, you need to just leave, and I'm going to reschedule your appointment. You need to just leave. And he got mad. And anyways, I had him come back, and I told him, I said, I want to apologize to you. I shouldn't have done that, but listen, it would have been worse if I let you stay in here. I was angry, And again, it just been worse. And I apologize for having you have to come back, and I'll make it up to you. But it was the right thing to do, and I don't regret doing that. Now, if I was a judge and I had that kind of bad day, that's what I'd do is I'd just continue and say, hey, we're going to have to continue this. I've had some problems, and we're not doing this today. But again, that judges are supposed to be professional. Judges are supposed to be carrying out the law. They're supposed to, they're justice. They are the carriers of justice. And man, I'm gonna tell you something. It's unjust. Hey, I will tell you another thing. Me and you need to have a conversation about DA fraud. The DA's committing fraud across Oklahoma. Easy. I mean, I've got massive evidence on that. You'd be really interested in that as well. So lots of things that we need to, kind of off the side to talk about, and I can get you some evidence of lots of problems here in Oklahoma.
Well, and people want me to share with you too. They're doing a rally on November 5th in Stillwater, which is a Wednesday, starting at 10 a.m. at the Payne County Courthouse. They want you to be aware of that if that was something you wanted to show up at.
You know what's funny? I had that road on my calendar, and I had it rally, and I was like, "What the stink? What rally am I supposed to go to?" So yeah, I got it on my calendar. So I'll tell everybody, hey, I'll go back and put Stillwater rally on the 5th, and I'm planning right now. I very much plan to attend that. I may come in. There's a couple of court cases that I'm very interested in that just want to go in there and sit, and there's one coming up that I think it looks, when I look at this case, I think they're going to do right by it, but you know what I'm saying? I'm wanting to make sure that we don't walk in there just like if you looked at C. Butler's case, a little slow and things, okay, but they did adjudicate him. He did plead guilty. They were going to give him 75 years. Everything looked okay. Everything looks legit. Fair. I mean, in one nanosecond, boom. I mean, somebody walks in and, oh no, we're going to go get 150 hours community service. Bam. We're over. Court dismissed.
Yeah.
No sense. And that's what I've got a case that I'm kind of watching. I've got a bunch of cases that I'm digging into and watching here, but there's one coming up on here pretty quick that, and I don't want to say too much, but I just want to go in, sit in the back of the courtroom and just watch what happens. And if I'm able to, I've been spending a lot of time in Payne County. It's about a 3-hour drive from my house, but I'm wearing socks off. But I'm going all over crisscrossing states speaking. So like tonight, I'm in Bartlesville. And so what I did, I just turned around and crisscrossed. I had a meeting in Tulsa, and then I went to Stillwater for 3 or 4 hours, and I come to Bartlesville. Tomorrow, I'm still speaking Ponca, I think. And so there's a good chance I'm going back through Stillwater to pick up some more stuff if possible. And so hopefully I'll get those. I'm hoping to get those campaign contributions by tomorrow. And again, I won't go through that because I'm thinking, I'm just speculating. But that's a good place. You know what I'm saying? That's a good place to dig when you're treasure hunting. Mark that X. I said, right here's the X. Let me dig down on this little thing and let's see. And I think it's a good place to start researching to see if there's some issues in that.
Well, and I'll share this with you real quick, and I haven't talked about it yet on this live, but I've been posting a lot about it. So this case, obviously I have a large platform, and I have, as connections to media and various people who not necessarily connected to lawmakers, but have helped get legislation passed, whether it's state or federal. And so when this Jesse thing came out, and I cover a lot of these terrible cases, like down in Texas about 1.5 2 years ago, there was a little girl named Audrey Cunningham. Her guy, or her perpetrator, this was a guy in Texas, giant swastikas tattooed over him, the SS on his neck, real disgusting little neo-Nazi kind of guy. He gets caught in bed with a 9-10-year-old girl trying to take her pants down. All right. And he's arrested, and they plea him down to enticing a child. So there's no sex offender registry, nothing like that. Well, he offends again with an 11-year-old girl named Audrey Cunningham. And guess what happened that time? Her body was found in the river tied to a rock after he assaulted her and murdered her. And what a lot of people don't know, a lot of people know that case, but they don't know this part of it. I got in contact and was gotten pretty close to the maternal grandparents on that. And the stress that caused that family, that grandfather, while he was at work, had a heart attack and died, like within a couple of weeks after this happened, because of having to lay his granddaughter to rest. And so this guy goes in, and the only plea deal he got on this go around was Texas isn't going to murder him, or I don't say murder because it would be murder. They're not put him to death. They're going to let him live the rest of his life in prison. But the point is that I guess that case, and there's so many others like it where you see that. So I started a petition on change.org that's basically it stop plea deals for child predators. And I know that that's a very blanket statement, but we're up to like 55,000 signatures. I've not yet presented it to any lawmakers yet because I want to get to 100, but put that on your radar because I feel like that there's a couple things we're talking about this, and I'm going to on this situation. When you're looking at, and I know you've seen a lot of these cases,
How is my mic?
One of the biggest challenges that we have is, number one, these plea deals for these sex offenders who then go on and reoffend again while their victims have to carry the scars of this.
I don't know if you're reading the chat over there, but that Smith media team,
the other thing that's
like I'm going to be hooking up with them,
is we can try murder cases in this country.
Yeah, I was watching it, and I see you
need the victim there to testify.
you know, exchanging messages.
7, 8, 10-year-old girl, you have to put them in to testify.
Melanie Little's in there too.
These cases don't ever go to trial because they don't want to re-victimize.
Melanie Little.
And so I'm bringing this to your
attention
because that's a lot of what we've been talking about, and that's why I have this
petition
going,
Attorney Melanie Little. She's been there from the very beginning.
And so I'm just, again, I'm not asking you to do anything now, but I believe you're going to be the next lieutenant governor of Oklahoma, especially if you uncover and deal with a lot of this corruption. I feel like this is something that might be a good test path for Oklahoma.
Oh no, I wouldn't mind running something like this.
Her name.
Here. I mean, I'd be happy to introduce.
Listen,
now,
this is going national. Man, this is going worldwide.
They basically taken my chairmanship away and won't let me run a bill. But when you sue, I've sued them for Open Records Act for covering everything up, and I've got about 850 something documents to show all of this stuff. But here's the thing that on that bill you're talking about and on that petition. I like it very well.
There goes
I would
shocks
have one
right
caveat cut out, and that's what happens when you introduce stuff. Everybody going to try to cut a little bit in here and there. But the one cut that I would say,
I thought you were talking about a girl, a woman.
I would be against
that
plea
guy.
bargains for sex offenders unless the family agreed to the plea or requested the plea. So if a family did not want to get, I mean, if family didn't want to get. What you're dealing with this, I mean, you're dealing with how many people tell you, I don't want to go forward. I'm telling you my story. I need to tell you my story. I hope it helps you, but I don't want to go forward. Okay. And you got family members that, this aunt's mad and this one's mad. And if we go forward, we're going to bust up the whole family. You know what I'm saying? People do not realize.
There's
and again, I'm
somebody in chat that says, please tell them my story. I don't know who it was now. They said, please tell them my story.
But guys, Jesse Butler, as much as I think he ought to go to prison and stand trial, I mean, should have got what he got. He still got a mom and dad.
She said that several times.
Whether mom and dad use their influence to try to help their kid, I can't really fault the mom and dad for trying to help their kid. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think there's a point to it, but again, I would understand that. And what I'm saying is his action. So these guys don't realize this is what this kind of act does. It destroys these women that are brutalized and are raped. They're terrorized for the rest of their life. It scars them for the rest of their life. The relationships that they get into.
His parents have protected him
relationships.
For way
Many of them have divorces and I've worked with women of trauma for many years, very closely with lots of women with trauma. And you see them on probation because of the trauma. You see them.
We've had enough of these colleges around the United States protecting these
you may think I'm lying,
criminals.
This is not.
Well, that's
you
what
have
it
people
amounts to.
that the date of the event will go out and get drunk. Will go out and get. It's almost
Stop
like they
their federal.
on that
Some
day.
colleges get federal help.
Pretty good for a while. Bam, they'll self-destruct on things like that, or it's just it just affects
For
it
sure. I
affects
agree.
both sides. It affects the victim's
Yeah,
family,
like
but
Trump
it also
said, if
affects
you don't
the
obey by my
offender's
orders,
family. And so
your
just
federal funds will be
and look
stopped.
what that does to the community. Look what it does. I mean, that's what we've got to stop. That's why we hold them accountable so that it sends a
Federal
message to
funds
so that
is
we don't have them
taxpayers'
out there
money.
committing the crime, but it also should deter. It should deter. And again, when you get 150 hours community service, there ain't a whole lot of determined there. You know what I'm saying? They're not.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the word. That keeps people from going out and committing crime. And so again, deterrent.
I'll
That's
tell
the
you
word
what,
I'm
this
looking
guy
for.
can talk. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
Deterrent
Very,
is
very
what
on
I'm
yeah.
point.
talking about.
He don't take a breath.
And respectfully, I agree with you that they do have a family and that oftentimes the perpetrators of crimes, their families, are victims. But at the same time, and as a parent, I'm a parent. I don't know if you have kids. I'm assuming you probably do, but
I do.
I have kids, and I would do anything for my daughter, anything, right? I'm going to stand by her thick and thin. But what his family, and this is just my saying, very respectfully to what you said, his family should have taught him that no is a complete sentence.
And again, I agree with I 1,000% agree that if you are probably looking at this guy, he's not been, what I'm saying, he's probably been pampered, given, you know what I'm saying, or at least what I know of most of these guys that
You
do
think he's
these
going to
kind of
stay on
crimes,
social media for 1 year?
The rules don't apply.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm going to mute that just a little bit because I'm just a little bit sideways because JJ Humphreys, I knew that name sounded familiar. He's the one that's been sneaking into these cockfights, and they have pictures of him at the cockfighting, and that's a federal offense.
Yes, that's illegal. That's abolished. That's like abolished.
So do as I say, not as I do, because hold on, I'm gonna type it in here.
That's like when we had the COVID. Remember when we had COVID laws and everything? They were going out and not wearing masks, and they made us wear them.
They'd be like, that's what we can think of the victims right there. But no, the whole communities, and look how far this is. You just said this is not nationwide, this is worldwide.
I'm just gonna put it in there. What's that word called? I know. But it's funny. If we use that word in our chat, it'll get deleted. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. They have pictures of JJ Humphreys at them illegal cockfights, though. So how can we need a different representative. We need one that's not breaking the law. Come on now.
Start putting the videos out.
They're out there.
Spread the word. Yeah, keep spreading it. And hashtag.
He's actually been trying to get the illegal cockfighting overturned.
Just fun fact that early, I don't know if he's still in here, but Justin,
it's a bit mean, isn't it? And it's worthless. I mean, what's the? I mean, come on. That's like the dog fighting and stuff. It's crazy.
It says here that
because I feel like you probably have a lot of
JJ, which is Justin Humphrey, a lawmaker who once learned he had cancer after being kicked in the leg by a bovine during a wild cow milking contest on the campaign trail.
I think even if they're mad at you up on the hill,
Humphreys previously made headlines for 2017 remark about women being hosts for babies, as well as his 2021 comment saying transgender people have a mental illness.
That's a problem in and of itself, and it's the same thing it's the same thing with like the petition. Anybody's going to come back and say,
well, there's something wrong with them, okay?
From having harsh sentences.
Can we get a better representative?
You can be all you can be, but don't try to rub it in our face and try to change the law. And there's some schools where who was talking about that, where the kids are coming in as a dog and a cat, and they got kitty litters in the school and stuff like that.
Well, I want to tell them victims, hey, listen, y'all listen up. You know, sexual crimes is about taking power. It's about control. Okay, that's what
They want
sexual
all
crimes are about. And one of those things, they violated you. They took your control. You know, that's why you just feel like that you're so helpless. That's the bad thing. And getting control back, that means standing up to the bully. That means standing up to not being the victim. And that's for a lot of people, for
I'll show you.
many people,
Just
that's
go in. I've
therapeutic.
got the
That
article
is
pulled up. It's
getting that control back, going through this
about the J.J.
process,
Humphrey one.
standing up for yourself, standing against the court, and making things right. And again, it can become your passion. What was meant to destroy you can become what makes you, builds you, fortifies you, and makes you a fierce warrior. And again, being that person who doesn't allow your control to be lost, because you're in control and you take it back. And that's what this is all about, is standing up for those victims and having victims have a voice in this thing. And again, we're going to take it back, and we're going to take it to the court, and we're going to take it to the governor, and we're going to take it to the state. And, you know, and we're not going, you know, today, I told somebody, I quit fighting when I'm dead and on the ground. That's when I quit fighting. And that's where I'm at in this fight, is we're going to keep fighting till we get the right answers.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know how I've been directed to Oklahoma to be doing this, but I'm happy to be working with you on exposing some of this stuff, because a lot of it's important. Like one of the next things, probably next week, I'm probably going to try to get with you on the waterboarding molestation thing that happened. Was it Greer, Oklahoma? Is that where it was?
Yep. So that was that was Greer Mental Health in Enid, Oklahoma. And then the molestation happened at a detention center. And again, the molestation, the feds actually come in and raided that juvenile detention. And we have proven that the molestation happened. The problem is that DHS, OJA, and OCCY all knew that it was going on and ignored it and allowed kids to be molested, and had to have the feds come in. And just like in this case going on in Penn County, we know all this is going on, but our AG won't step in, our governors won't step in, our Senate and our House. And again, they're the ones trying to stop us. They're the ones fighting us, trying to kill this grand jury. And so again, we just got to get out there and show this is actually going on. Got to get those emails, got to get everything to say, hey, don't take my word. It's not my word. We're going to document it. I've been in court, 35 years. If it ain't documented, it didn't happen. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to document and show, and we're going to build cases that they can't tear down. And we're going to get, 100% gospel truth to shine, and again, hold them accountable.
Well, and what I want to do before I let you go tonight is, obviously we're going to have more conversations. For the people who have been asking, if you want to sign that petition, depending on what, right now we're streaming on TikTok, Insta, Facebook, and YouTube. In the show notes for YouTube, every other platform, the link is in my bio. You can go sign it. It takes you literally
it's ridiculous,
0.2
isn't
seconds.
it?
Please go do that. And if it's not on Facebook, you can. It's pinned on my Facebook page, but it's also in every post about Jesse Mack Butler. But I do want to have you back, obviously, talk about some of these cases as time goes on. Have that conversation, which I'll work with you maybe in the next week or so to do another thing on the missing and murdered Indigenous women with this attorney. But also, with this petition, to change the way child predators are handled, but also for the state of Oklahoma, I'm sure you're probably, and I would be remiss if I didn't have this conversation with you right now. I'm sure you
still got the link for that
correct?
petition?
A young girl who in Wyoming, this was a few years ago, so I'll refresh real quick, because I know you got a lot on your plate. Young girl in Wyoming.
I'm not sure.
Went missing. Boyfriend shows back up in Florida with her van. She's found dead a while ago. He kills himself, allegedly, commits suicide in the Florida swamp. Well, her family has started the Gabby Petito Foundation. And one thing that they've done is they've
this is crazy.
For the most part, working with feds as well, to try to change the way that domestic violence is handled in these states, changing the way
I'm sure there's somebody ending people's lives there.
It'd be really good to introduce you to Joe Petito.
Love to. Hey, I'm a domestic abuse
And bodies
facilitator.
popping up everywhere.
I went and got trained as a domestic abuse facilitator. I own my own business. Before I became a legislator, I owned my own private probation company. I owned a company that administrated drug courts and did professional drug testing. And so, absolutely, I went and got trained because I would know more about domestic abuse. I wanted to be able.
Change
I
the
actually
settings on the
offered
keyboard.
Oklahoma a really good program that would cost less
Hi,
that would
Lavender.
actually address the domestic abuse. And guess what they said? They weren't interested in training them. They had the money. They wouldn't do it because they said I was too cheap.
Lavender.
They wouldn't let me do it because I was too cheap to get people in and actually do the training without charging them an arm and a leg so that they could actually come in and wouldn't run off. And anyways, I was denied that. So I will tell you, a lot of our problem, they've made the criminal justice a cash cow. So all of these diversion programs, they're making big money off of them. I'm not opposed to drug court. I love drug court. I was a drug court administrator, but many places are making bank off the drug court. DAs are making money off of probation. So again, that's what we got to do is we've got to get these programs to where they're not cash. They're not cash cows. They're actually out there to change behavior. That's what we ought to be doing, is changing that behavior, addressing behavior. You reward good behavior and you punish bad behavior. It's not a brain surgery.
Nope.
Well, I think that we're gonna do some good stuff, exposing some light, maybe changing the way that Oklahoma handles some of the stuff that they do, and then maybe that could be a good catalyst for some of the other states, like my great state of Tennessee and some of the other states out there, to maybe start banking on some changes. And I know you got a lot of stuff from prison reform to the way that this is handled to domestic violence. There's a lot of stuff that we can work on together, and I think at least some of it can probably be successful.
I look forward.
All of it if we're lucky.
I look forward to it.
And me too. Well, Representative, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. I know you
think you
probably
wanted
have a
to
long drive ahead, and we'll do this again soon.
3-hour drive. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I appreciate you putting the light. I really do. Before we jump off here, man, you all kudos for getting this report out and this story out. You've made it happen. Shine some light on a lot of what needed light shined on.
Okay,
So
there's the petition.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your time for coming on and helping shed a little bit more light on it than even I did. So,
you bet.
all right, everyone, have a
Catch
great
you later.
night.
Y'all have a good night.
And if you guys came in late, this is on the replay.
Hey,
You can
Nana.
definitely watch it. Back if you came in late on the YouTube channel, it's going to be there.
There's the
Look,
link if
guys,
you
there's
want
a
to
lot of
sign it
stuff
for the
going on, and
petition
there's a
to
lot that
sign
we
if
can
you
do. I
haven't
really hope
already.
that
And would you
when
like
look
to
at
share it?
this, that you see that maybe the
It's
power,
Plea deals for
when
child
you have
predators.
people who are willing to help, who are willing to put forth the
Oh,
effort,
good. You put it up there
maybe,
too. I see
just
it.
maybe, we can make differences. Now, last thing I'm going to say to you
Sharing is
guys
caring.
tonight, please take 0.3 seconds, sign the petition to stop plea deals for child predators. Again, if you're watching on TikTok, it's in my bio. Instagram, it's in my bio. YouTube, it's in the show notes. And on Facebook, it's pinned at the top of my profile, but also in pretty much every post that Jesse Mack Butler is in. The link is there as well. Takes you 1 second.
Jesse
and you
Mack
share it with one other
Butler.
person. My goal is to get it. I'm going to tell you where it's at right now. My goal is to get it to 100,000 before the end of
Just
October,
looked
which
it
is a
up.
lofty goal because we got
Good.
about 8
Thanks,
days left.
45,000.
56,227. I got to that number in about 2 weeks, and I think that we could get there if enough people help push it out. If every person just sends it to one other person, we'll get there. So, everybody, thank you all for joining. This has been a very enlightening conversation, and we'll see you guys again soon. Bye, everyone.
Doing that. All righty.
Whoa.
Let's see here. Hey, Justice, good to have you here, by the way.
Yep. Good to see
There's that-
everybody.
Yeah, there's that petition. What we was just watching is just in the nick of crime is covering the Jesse Butler case, and J.J. Humphreys was on there, who is an Oklahoma representative. But I'm going to show you this because I did pull it up. I knew I'd heard the name before. I just didn't know how. Cockfighting.
Yeah, I've seen him on chats before, but
Here's where I was reading that
this
from earlier.
I like to know where they came up with, because I did put it in the chat, you know, and so did you, where they came up with the last minute you full offender. Well, how did they scramble for that? I've never heard of that before.
I don't know, and they didn't answer my question, and he asked JJ because he put it on the screen. I asked that question. Why
I
did they
asked it
change?
too. Yeah.
I know, but he highlighted mine and asked him, but there was no answer given.
Yeah, because I very much would like to know how they came up with that. I think they scrambled for that. They looked through the law. They looked through the books. I swear to God, they went out of their way to look
Yeah.
for something. They were told to do it. They said, find something, find something.
This is the point where they just have to go after them. I mean, you got to go after the judicial system if they're the ones changing this. I looked. There's no way they can recharge Jesse Butler. He'll have to get another offense. They can't just go back and change it. They should be able to, but they can't. Now all they can do is go after the DA and the judge for changing it.
Well, they said if they can get an indictment very fast, this is all fast work, before he gets sentenced to that, they got to come up.
December something. Court
Yeah.
December something.
They said they could put a hold on that sentencing, but they need to act very, very fast.
Let me look up on OSCN, but I doubt it'll be there just because
And
doubt it'll be
if
there.
they're putting walls up and stopping the indictment for a grand jury come in, an indictment, or, you know, grand jury, they're putting all the stops to it. These people must be something, because I don't know how they can feel that this is right, this is justice. I mean, maybe they thought 78 years was too much, but okay then, why didn't you give him 25 years? Why didn't you give him 30 years then? Why did he get nothing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, he's been changed to youthful offender, so it's sealed, so we can't pull it up.
No.
I believe his dad's name is Mac Butler too. Pretty sure that's what it was, Mac Butler.
Well, of course it is. Of course it is, because he's under 18. And
but when he was tried as an adult,
yeah,
you would think that would have showed up, but they've got it. There's nothing there now.
right. They changed it all. It's like wiped it clean. That judge or that DA was bought and said, find a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it said that between her and her father, they've been running the bench for 50 years.
I bet you it's the judges, that judge, dirty judge, that has been bought off. Like they said, like the comment said, hey, look into their bank accounts. You know, what's going in their bank accounts? You know, you got to find some fraudulent thing going on here. Bribes, you know, bribes and stuff like that.
His name is Jesse Mac Butler. Here's a Jesse M. Butler, and got arrested from, let's see here, Wildlife Department. Is this the same kid? No.
Did you read?
Back to 2006, so no, not the same guy.
Did you read one of the? I think it was. I was listening to it today, so it must have been something new. That while he was with this girl, right, and taking her home, he was doing the R to her and everything like that, you know, and he was calling his mother up, and his mother didn't do a thing. I don't know what she heard, but she didn't do a damn thing. She must have heard something.
What are you talking about?
Mac Butler. He called his mother up. Well, he was doing the dirty to that girl.
Where did you see that at? Because I did not see that.
Well, I seen it on one of the channels today. The one that's covering it. That might have been.
Well, I do know that they said that one of the girls he actually, I'm going to call it graped twice. And the first time he did it immediately after that so he could film it. How can you save that link? This link? Jezebel, are you
You
talking about
copy
this
it.
link?
You copy and paste it. Copy and paste it. That's what you do. Just throw
Right.
your mouse over it. Copy and
If
paste
you're
it.
on a phone, if you're on a phone, send yourself a text message with that in there. Copy it to your text message.
Yeah. Just send
Yippee
it.
is an OSU alumni. Listen,
Send
I
it
plan
to
on
your email. Send it to your email or your phone. Or just
I plan
copy
on
and paste it.
taking the bus down for that rally. Hopefully you figured it out, Jezebel. Listen, I'm telling you, StreamYard is crazy today. This instead of having your regular names, just throws me crazy on some of these. It's been that way on every chat I've been in today, too.
What?
You notice how your name is in the chat? Some StreamYards got it all screwed up in every channel. Instead of having your usual name, it's got the @.
Oh, I did a live today. I did not notice that.
I've noticed it in every one. So, and I use StreamYard. So this is StreamYard. Okay, Jezebel says.
Yeah, so do I. I didn't notice it today.
Okay, while we're here, I want to skip to something else while I'm thinking about it, and we'll go back to this. I want to play something that we played the other day. Uh-oh. Why am I talking twice? What's going on here?
You need to switch off something.
I got to look.
You got a app open. Should you click off his webpage?
There we go.
His
no,
channel.
I have YouTube. Okay, here we go.
Oh, you got YouTube on. Yeah, the volume. You just got to turn the volume down.
I
Off.
did have you. Let me see here.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
We are going to play this one again. This is the one from Salisaw. One thing I did not notice the other day is
here. I found it. I was listening. Oh, sorry, I was listening to Sidebar, Lowering Crime Network. We're talking about it today.
Yeah, I got that pulled up too, but I do want to cover this one real quick because we covered it the other day.
That's where I heard that information. That's where I heard it from.
Yeah, Law and Crime did a thing today. I did watch it. Okay, let's do this real quick. This is the one from Salisaw. One thing I did not realize the other day that I saw today is the parents of the victim or of the accusers has come forward. So I'm gonna play this again.
Oh,
this is the one.
Repeat that again. I wasn't listening. What did you say?
This is the one from Salisaw that happened on the school playground where the mom said her kid was sexually abused.
Yeah.
I'm going to play that again, and now the parents of the accuser, or that's of the accused, has come forward too. So here we go.
We continue to learn more about an incident we first told you about last night at Salisaw School this week. That's under investigation tonight. Tonight, we're hearing from a mother who has asked not to show her face or use her name. She tells 5 News reporter Bo Russell her son was sexually assaulted by 3 classmates at East Side Elementary School, and now she's calling for accountability.
Past Tuesday.
We're going to find out, but if this mother came and said all this stuff and it's not true, she should be charged.
A mother who wishes to go by the name Beth got a phone call from Eastside Elementary. The school told her there had been an incident involving.
I'll play the next one after this, and you tell me. You ready?
Okay, let me listen.
When I got there, they had told me that my son had been penetrated on the playground.
Beth says after hearing what had happened, she broke down.
I just bawled. Like, I just cried. There's nothing.
Heard her. She said her son had been penetrated on the playground. Then why did her son continue to play with these boys afterwards? They're all friends. I think this lady has exaggerated the truth, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
That can make it right. I mean, I was sick to my stomach. I cried and I wanted something.
And if she did exaggerate the truth, she needs to be charged.
I asked where her son was taken after the alleged incident.
They put him back
Well-
in class.
After taking her son to a children's safe haven advocacy group,
Wouldn't you take him
Beth
to the
immediately
hospital as soon as you find out?
Yeah, there's something fishy with this.
removed
Listen,
her
if you're
son
going to
from
prove
Eastside
these
Elementary, but
charges,
says
you
We
should have took
continue
him
to
to the
learn
hospital.
more about an incident.
I hit the wrong button. Let's play this and we'll play the second one and then you can tell me your thoughts on it.
Okay, I'm going to listen now.
the school told her there had been an incident involving her son.
But when I got there, they had told me that my son had been penetrated on the playground.
Beth says after hearing what happened, she broke down.
Just bawled. Like, I just cried. There's nothing that can make it right. I mean, I was sick to my stomach. I cried and I wanted my son.
I asked her where her son was taken after the alleged incident.
They put him back in class.
After taking her son to a children's safe haven advocacy group, Beth immediately removed her son from Eastside Elementary, but says the school isn't doing enough to address the problem.
Their response is that as of right now, these boys are suspended for 5 days. Could be longer pending the criminal investigation, but I just feel 5 days is not long enough.
But you just, what, 5 days is not long enough, but you just said your son was penetrated on the school grounds at recess. Something's not right here.
Says that since she reached out to local news, more parents at the school are coming forward.
After we come to light about what happened to my son a week or so ago, I guess it happened to a little girl, a girl in the same building, and she didn't come public till I did. So who's to say this hasn't happened other times?
And I haven't seen anything about the little girl, the one that she's saying happened after her son.
She
said
says
she
her
came
concern
forward,
now
yeah.
is a lack of
I
accountability
haven't seen anything on it. So where'd she get that
No,
information?
nor have I. Right.
at the school.
If I didn't come public about it, nobody would have known anything.
But you
It would
gotta
have
tell
just
the
been a police report, the 5-day suspension, and that'd have been it.
Salisaw police say this matter is being handled by school police. Salisaw Public School Superintendent tells me that they are following all the correct protocols and will not release any information until a criminal investigation is completed.
I was asked if I wanted to pursue criminal charges, and I said yes. It was some boys who thought they was big and bad, and
Friends. They were all
and they
friends.
took his innocence away.
I'm Bo Russell, 5 News.
Okay, let's watch the next one because I did find where the parents of the accused has spoke up. So I mean, you got to tell the truth.
How old are they again?
11.
11.
Okay, here.
Both of them?
Yep. Okay, here's the one where the parents spoke up. Hopefully this is right where it needs to be.
All right, Josh, thanks. New developments today on an alleged sexual assault incident at a local elementary school. 5 News has learned in the last hour the district attorney's office in Sequoia County is now investigating at the request of Salisaw Public Schools. 5 News reporter Laura Castleman talked to an attorney representing one of the families involved.
We first told you about this story last week when we sat down with the alleged victim's mother, who we are referring to as Beth. Today, an attorney representing one of the families of one of the boys accused in the incident is speaking out on their behalf. Todd Bogan released a statement for the family in response to the accusations and social media fallout. Beth says that on October 14th, a staff member told her 3 boys held her son down at recess and assaulted him. But Bogan says that's not true. He released a statement saying, quote, as the situation has quickly become volatile and extremely dangerous due to the false allegations by the alleged victim's mother, this incident was not a sexual assault. In fact, the alleged victim continued playing with his friends. Bogan is urging the community to let due process happen before drawing conclusion.
I hope that people will appreciate how sensitive this is, given that we are talking about 11-year-old children, and we are talking about an incident that happened in the wide open, in front of people, in front of staff.
While the families of the boys accused in the incident are coping with the community anger, it's the opposite for the mother of the alleged victim, who says she feels her story isn't being taken seriously. All the families involved are currently waiting for an investigation to conclude. We can report tonight that the investigation is now on the district attorney's desk. Jack Thorpe said he could not comment on specifics because it is a juvenile matter. Laura Castleman, 5 News.
So now you can say, sounds like there might be some, she might not have been so truthful. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But I mean, don't you find it strange that it did happen out in front of everybody and the kid went back and played with his friends?
Well, the mother said, what did they do? And they said they took him back in the school.
And they're saying it's all on video and it happened in front of everybody and it wasn't sexual assault. So guess we'll have to wait and see what the DA does. But what I'm
because
saying,
it's under investigation and they won't do nothing until the investigation's done. And then, but that mother, she says, you know, that's not what happened. False allegations. But the thing is, a lot of people say that though. I've heard that plenty of times. That, you know, they're lying, they made it up, or they're not telling the truth, whatever how they said it. I've heard that many times because they can't believe that their kid is capable of it. But the other person, she said, has come forward after she came out. Well, they never mentioned, nobody mentioned her. Where's the written statement that she made? To who? Who did she make it to? Who did she make it to? The Channel News or who?
It's crazy.
It's not impossible for these kids to be doing that, but I would say, why didn't you take this kid to the hospital and get a R kit? It been official then, you know, in writing. Yes or no? Did this happen? Do you know what I mean?
Right, right. And do you really think if the school thought that this kid was sexually assaulted, they'd send him back to class? Come on.
No, they would have to call the mother up and for her to get some emergency care.
They would have the police there. They would be at the hospital getting that kid checked out. There's a lot that should be done.
But actually, the school should have done that. The school should have done that. They should have just done it right away and called the mother, do what's protocol, and they didn't do it. So if this is true, this school will be in a lot of trouble.
For sure. Okay, so I did have it pulled up. Here's the one from Sidebar. This is probably what you saw earlier. I skipped through a lot of it. I already had it here waiting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard it. It must have been on there because I said I heard something new.
This was today.
And if you watch this guy,
from their court and from our
okay?
government.
Very triggering. I'm just saying, I'm giving a warning. It's very triggering because of the words he uses. He uses the words.
Yep.
Just
I mean,
saying.
we're meeting with great resistance on trying to get that grand jury and hold these people accountable. So again, until they're held accountable, the laws are there. But what you do when they you know, don't follow their own rules and they don't follow justice? They took an oath to justice. Does this sound like justice? And again, here's what I'm saying. Shouldn't we investigate? Should we not investigate? Was there political favor done here? Was this done as a result because the positions the father has or because people knew each other? I would think that it would warrant investigation. And again, it's all allegations. We don't know what happened until we go in and investigate it. But golly, I'm mad as all get out. And we're trying to have other things there in the same county investigated. I mean, very, very corrupt things going on in this county and really across the state. There's all kinds of things.
I want to bring in Justin Shepard, host of Just in the Nick of Crime. So happy to have you on here to talk about this. You've been following this case closely. You helped shine a national spotlight on this. How did you first hear about this case?
So actually a friend of mine, another mutual social media creator, he goes by Missing in USA. Literally his content is all, for the most part, missing people and stories, and they work behind the scenes and actually research this stuff. He lives in Stillwater, and he sent me this story. And that night I was actually getting ready to go live on YouTube to talk about three different cases. And I was like, after I read that story, I was so enraged that I was like, I'm going to scrap what I'm talking about right now because these cases have been told for years. And we're going to talk about this. And I was infuriated. I called a friend of mine who's an attorney. I was like, hey, can you hop on right now? Because I want to talk to you about some stuff, ask some questions. So she did as well. And then from there, apparently I opened the floodgates in Stillwater, Oklahoma. From there, I got it sent over to the people over on News Nation. It's like, hey, you guys might want to talk about this. But basically, Dan had initially sent me that story and was like, something needs to be done about this. But when you see somebody getting charged with the charges that he had, and we can get into those a little bit more here in a moment, but originally being sentenced to 78 years and then walking away with 150 hours of community service, that is just a miscarriage of justice. There's just no other way to look at it.
I haven't seen anything like this,
Neither.
anything near this. And from your research, from speaking with experts, from speaking with attorneys, what's the rationale here? What have you learned here about how this is even possible? Because I'll tell you, there is a lot of speculation online right now that the Butler family may have connections that may have helped him get his so-called sweetheart deal. We couldn't confirm that. What can you tell us?
So I've spoken with some of the families as well of both victims who came forward against Jesse. There is a third victim who, if she hasn't come forward, but can you blame her when you look at this as the justice that they get? So there's a third victim. And kind of like I said, the speculation is that Jesse Mac Butler's
There still is a third victim in the Jesse Butler case.
father is a man by the name of Mac Butler. And he was the head of football operations at OSU for, I forget how many years, but for a pretty long time. He's kind of a state of that community. And we're talking about Stillwater, Oklahoma. We're talking about OSU for people who don't know. Stillwater is the town that Oklahoma State University is in. So there's a lot of things tied to that. Mac Butler, it seems that he grew up there. His wife currently works for OSU. His daughter works for the public school system there. He was apparently had been hired as like a coach of some kind for Stillwater High School as well. So somebody with deep-rooted ties into the community, and then leads you to the judge in this case, or one of the judges in this case, Judge Susan Worthington. Between her and her father, the Worthingtons have had a hold on that bench for over 50 years. So while you can't necessarily say definitively that, hey, there's this connection here because he's deep-rooted in football, she's a judge, they all grew up in the same town, that there's this kind of connection, but it's not really many difficult mental gymnastics to make that leap, right? That, hey, this is a town that requires the college, needs the college to survive, very deep rooted into the system, that they're very much supportive of OSU, for this whole kind of thing to be very close knit. And that's kind of what's being speculated, to the point even it's now gotten the attention of one of Oklahoma's lawmakers, Representative J.J. Humphrey, also running for lieutenant governor. I'm actually speaking with him later tonight, a little bit more detail, but
and if you can, I don't know if you've spoken with him already, but Representative Humphrey is talking, my understanding is about a potential investigation into this. Is this true? Is there going to be a formal investigation into what happened here?
It sounds that way, yeah. He kind of looks at it from the same way. He was telling me that he's got a lot of background, in the court system and investigation before he got into politics. And he said, basically kind of the same thing that we were just talking about, that can he say definitively, or can he prove right now that there's a connection? No, but his exact words, but it sure as hell smacks like it, And so he's like, it's worth an investigation. So he's thinking about, wanting to put a grand jury together to do an indictment, possibly. The conversation we had, which we'll go a little bit more in depth, and I don't know if that could bring additional charges against Jesse, because when you look again at the litany of charges, there are some that should have been on there that weren't. Like, in my opinion, as not a lawyer, why he wasn't charged with attempted murder when one of the girls was near death for what he did. And so those are kind of the conversations. But he feels that not just Stillwater, that entire county, Payne County, and then other places in Oklahoma, there's a lot of, he said it flat out, there's corruption, and he believes that this is no different than that. And it merits an investigation.
What is the community saying? What is the community feeling about this? Are they up in arms about it?
Yeah, so there's a protest they're planning sometime next month. I think November 5th. But they're planning a protest, but they don't think that it's fair. And what's been very interesting about this is that since, like I said at the beginning, I opened the floodgates on this. Since I started talking about Jesse, I've gotten no less than 20 to 25 messages, whether it's, through Insta or direct email, or even Messenger, of people saying, hey, here's my experience with, Judge Worthington. Here's my experience with this DA. Here's my experience in, the judicial system in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and Maine County. And what's been interesting about all these stories, I've kind of started to pile them together in to one thing so I can kind of analyze them. And a lot of these, not all, but a lot of them have the exact same players in every one of them. There's another case, for example, that Judge Worthington and I think Michael Culling, don't hold me to the last one, was on it. And basically, this was a guy, he was a teacher, got arrested for sexting a 13-year-old girl, was sentenced to 10 years. Not just that, he was also stalking her, trying to break into her house. This is a grown man, okay, an educator. And he gets sentenced to 10 years, which sounds great, right? He does 8 months and gets out. While he's out, he rapes a 16-year-old girl. The family gets an EPA, an emergency protective order against her, protective order. He violates it 11 times. Each time, Judge Worthington gives him a $500,000 fine. The girl doesn't feel safe. She wants to get out of that town as quickly as she possibly can as soon as she graduates and just be out of Stillwater. And this is another case that I'm actually probably going to do something today on it or tomorrow, but this is another case that, again, it's the exact same players, and there's a lot of them with it. And I was telling Representative Humphrey about that as well. This is not just a one-time singular incident when it comes to these predators.
Yeah. First of all, you talk about violating a protective order. Okay. My understanding is something happened with Butler violating a protective order. And I think that would, speak to a lack of concern, a lack of consequences. You just mentioned it in this other case. What can you tell us about that?
So I believe, obviously, because the victims were minors, we'll leave their names out. But for one of the victims, he wouldn't stop harassing her, wouldn't stop calling her, wouldn't stop threatening her, despite the fact that the court told him not to do it. And he didn't even get, he got that charge, but nothing really happened for it. We're at that point, and you're facing the charges that he's facing. You have to take that very seriously, especially when there's strangulation charges on this. And even though there was 2 charges that happened, there were 3 strangulations on at least 2 of the victims. So one of those victims too had to have surgery. I don't know if you've seen the pictures on that, but had to have surgery to correct the damage that he did. And her medical
comment from who? Before I got bounced out, I thought I saw a comment by him. Who are you talking about, Nona?
physician said, I think that he said 30 seconds from death, but let's just say, he basically said that she is very near death on what he did. And this is also a guy who strangled one girl to the point of unconscious. Each strangulation was a point of unconsciousness. And one of those points, once she woke back up, he had set his camera up because he wanted to film it. He did it again to the point of unconsciousness to this girl, caught it on camera, and actually when they searched his devices, they found that video. So it's not like hearsay, it's actually there. So when you have that, and you have, young 16-year-old girls, who had to just go through this horrific ordeal. You look at pictures of Jesse Butler.
Christopher wasn't here, but it is football night, and he looks forward to football every Sunday and every Monday and every Thursday. So he might be watching football upstairs of the apartment complex.
An athlete. He's a big guy. It's an issue of he can easily overpower these people. Using tactics of fear, coercion, things like that, based on what we've heard. What are these girls supposed to do when you don't have a judicial system that's protecting them, when he blatantly disregards what the court has said? I think that speaks volumes. And I think it speaks even more when the courts do nothing about it.
And I want to highlight something. So one of these victims, talk about the victims, one of the victims submitted a victim impact statement to the court for the sentencing hearing. And according to KOCO, an Oklahoma outlet that reviewed court paperwork, she wrote, I've had to explain bruises, explain silence, explain why I started isolating from people who love me. You didn't just strangle me with your hands, you strangled my voice, my joy, my ability to feel safe in my own body. The Daily Mail spoke with the mother of one of the girls that Butler attacked, calling her only Amber. She told them, it's appalling. I received similar punishments for breaking curfew when I was a teenager. It's a complete injustice to these girls and to future victims because, unfortunately, statistically, it won't end. Not only are you giving a slap in the face to those survivors, you are potentially putting other women at risk by not holding him accountable. Now, Justin, some people are calling Jesse Butler the new Brock Turner, because back in 2015, Turner was this 19-year-old star swimmer at Stanford University, sexually assaulted a woman while she was unconscious. He was convicted in 2016 of 3 charges of felony sexual assault. But at his sentencing, you had Santa Clara County Superior Court Judge Aaron Persky sentenced him to just 6 months in jail, followed by 3 months of probation. He was required to register as a sex offender for life. He ended up released after just 3 months for good behavior. The judge in that case, by the way, ended up being recalled by local voters in 2018. The case influenced California's legislature to require prison terms for rapists whose victims are unconscious and changed the definition of what rape means to include digital penetration. So there was an outcome there. But I feel like that's a fair kind of comparison, no?
I think it's a great comparison because you have, rape by instrumentation, which is pretty much the same thing as, digital penetration. And I agree with you. And I think that with Brock Turner, who, by the way, I have been told, I've not researched on my own, that he has changed his name to Alan Turner so that I guess he can survive a little bit better. That was another travesty, just because these girls, they have to live with this for the rest of their life, what happened to them. And these people get off scot-free. What kind of message does that send? And I think that when you look at somebody like Jesse Butler, I agree with you. And, you've covered enough cases. I've covered enough cases to know that people like this, they reoffend. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I know that I believe that we both know some of the same people. And Gary Petito's family, they've really gone into domestic violence awareness and things like that, changing the law as well. Jim Schmidt, her stepdad, had told me that when somebody puts their hands around your neck, there is a 750% increased chance that they will kill you. So for Jesse Butler, somebody who is now comfortably strangled girls at least 3 times to the point of unconsciousness, filmed it, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen when he's now in college? And all of this stuff is expunged from him, which, by the way, I don't know if you were aware, if you probably were, that when he turns 19, less than a year from now, all of this stuff is expunged. It's all completely gone. Nobody knows about it except for what it's found on the web. But, what's going to happen when he's at college and now he's got alcohol? He's got access to things like roofies, inebriated states of some of these girls who are partying that should feel safe. What's going to happen when he's there and he does that and he takes somebody's life? Who's going to be held accountable then?
And look, that's the importance of reporting on this and keeping it in the public eye. So it's not put, in the waste bin and no one knows what happened here. Something real happened here. And by the way, you and I cover these cases all the time. You know how difficult it is for survivors to come forward and explain what happened to them if there's not digital evidence to support it, if they don't have corroborating witness accounts, if there's not surveillance footage it's mostly based on their accounts. So not only coming forward and going through the process to explain what happened, going through the legal process. And now this is the result. Justin, that's why the work that you do is incredible. It is really incredible. And I can't highlight what you do enough. From what you've seen so far, how are these victims and their families doing? I mean, how are they responding to this? What was their reaction to all this? I explained it a little bit, but the best that you can tell, how are they moving forward?
It's interesting. So when you talk about the victims, I've spoken with Amber. I talk to her, almost daily at this point. And what people have to remember too is that when something like this happens, it's not just the girl that's the victim. It affects the entire family, right? So now you have mom and a dad, advocating for their child, and people always say the same thing. And I say it even too. And I'll take a step back. I even told Amber, I don't know how you and your husband, y'all are better people than me, because I think I could just let somebody walk. I would be okay catching charges. And she was like, we had that conversation, but we need to be on this side of some gates so that we can continue to help and advocate for her. But it affects the entire family. I think that despite all of this, what I'm learning is that I've not spoken to the girls, obviously. I'd rather speak to the parents because they're young. But from what I understand from the family, they are not letting this guy take their voice. They're not letting him have the power over him. And I think that that's a pretty incredible thing, because that's what a lot of this is about, right? It's about the ability to have power and control. And I feel too that with this story now getting more of public attention, because originally it was being swept under the rug, that they also feel so much more supported, not only by the community who's now more aware of this, but, you know, somebody said yesterday, made a comment on one of my videos that, oh, I saw this on our morning news report in Oslo, Norway. And so
Really?
this made,
Wow.
yeah, this made it all the way overseas. And I think that for these girls, they finally feel like, you know, even if the court's not giving him justice, he can't escape this. He can't run from this.
Yeah. And by the way, just so I know, have you heard anything from him, his family, his side? Have they reached out to you at all or anything like that?
No, but I mean, but if they did, I'd talk to them. You know, I'd let them have that opportunity. But no, they haven't. My guess is they're probably pretty low right now. What I have heard is that there's a group, a Facebook group, and I sent a couple screenshots of it, where the family was reaching out to the administrator of that Facebook group, basically talking about how they're being threatened and how they're being harassed and things like that. Basically, that this was a big thorn in their side is how I will word that. That's my not there, but you know, I'm not saying that people should harass or threaten people at all. I don't agree with that, but for it to be a thorn in their side, good. You know, I'm okay with that.
Well, I think more answers are warranted. I'm very curious to see what happens with your conversation with Representative Humphrey, to see what this investigation will look like. Justin, for anybody who's out there wants to see more of the work that you do, not just with this case, this story, but other stories that you cover, let everybody know where they can find you, because I think, again, you do really important work.
Well, thank you. So I'm on pretty much every platform you can think of: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Substack. And it's all the same name, Just in the Nick of Crime. So just kind of how it sounds. And I also have a website, justinthenickofcrime.com, which will lead you to all of my socials as well. So that's kind of where you can find it and what we do. And I do different things on all the platforms depending. But, you know, this kind of stuff, this type of awareness is important. It speaks for victims everywhere. If I can, too, plug this, I'm also working. This case kind of got me fired up a little bit to the point, you know, we cover a lot of things like this where you see predators get plea deals like this. And right now it's kind of a blanket statement, but I started a petition, which in 2 weeks has broken over 54,000 signatures right now to stop these predators from getting plea deals. And I realize that's a very broad statement, which once we have enough signatures, we can whittle it down to get a little bit more specific. But if anybody wants to sign that, that's linked through any of my bios as well. And, you know, once I get to 100,000, we can start taking it to some of the bigger representatives.
That's great. That's great. Justin Shepherd, thank you so much for taking the time. And just on a different note, great lava lamp. You know, nobody does a lava lamp anymore. And that, you know, takes courage in and of itself. I mean, that's a great, look at that back there. Nobody does a lava lamp.
This is the biggest one you can buy.
Is that right?
Got two.
It is. It's like 27 inches or something like that.
Well, now you're just showing off. Now you're just showing off about your lava lamp, and everybody sees that.
I went into a store.
It is a bit overkill.
And the woman was like, "If you buy two of them, I'll give you a better deal." And basically, two for the price of one. So I have another one downstairs as well.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Justin Shepherd, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
That's a pretty good interview. Actually, all of them that he's did has been really good interviews.
Yeah. And, you know, this channel gets out there. So, you know, the big channels out there, the big news channels, low crime channels, it's getting out there. Get his name out there. Get his name out there. His mom and dad ain't going to be happy. We can say what we want. It's free speech. If we feel like there's an injustice, there is one, and we're going to fight it.
Absolutely. So it looks like Justin is from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, he said he's from Tennessee.
Yeah, Nashville. Here is his Facebook. This is where I went and found the, let me pull it up.
And like his parents are complaining. You know, they'll probably try to get that group shut down. No, you don't like it? Well, stop enabling him then. Stop it.
Exactly. And, you know, at some point, I'm sorry, but the parents are responsible too. I mean, where did he learn all this stuff from? I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to be 18. If he's 18 already, I don't know. But when he turns 18, hey, mama, you can't do much about it. And I hope one or two of those charges, whatever, maybe they're waiting until he's 18. But if you got corrupt DNA in a judge, this still nothing's going to get done.
So he started this petition
Mm-hmm.
on October 20th, and he's already got 56,345 on this petition.
Yep. He needs 50,000 for something, and then he needs 100,000 for it to go even further.
And what the petition says: too often crimes against children end in plea deals. A predator commits an unthinkable act, and instead of facing the full consequences, they plead down to a lesser charge, sometimes avoiding the sex offender registry altogether. Then they walk free to hurt another child. One of the most heartbreaking recent examples of this case is case of 11-year-old Audra Cunningham. Her killer, Don Stephen McDowell, had a long history of disturbing behavior. Years earlier, he was accused of getting into bed with a 10-year-old and trying to remove her pants. Okay, that's going to be really triggering. But you could, if you want to see what really led him up to start all this, you can go to his Facebook page. I'm not going to read that to stress people out, but wow. Just wow.
Yeah, but we could just use our imaginations. Do you know what I mean? What this man done. This man got away with it.
Well, I definitely have high hopes on this rally, too. I think there will be a lot of people there. I hope. It's on a Wednesday. So hopefully, still people can go. People go to school, people work. But hopefully people can show up for the rally. I think that makes a difference, too. When our judicial system and everybody sees that people aren't going to step back and just take it. And listen, some might say, well, I'm not in Oklahoma. I'm in Kansas. You're in Wisconsin. But eventually it bleeds over to our states, too. And I bet it happens in our states, too. They're not exempt from being corrupt either. So, you just got to bring it to the streets and bring it to the public. I think that's
there's lots of stuff that happens here in Wisconsin. It goes through the juvenile. But our courts, they try very hard to get them in adult court. Very hard. They fight very hard to get him in adult court. This guy, Butler, was in adult. He was being charged as an adult, right? And they changed it. I don't even know how they winged it.
No, it's like he got charged and sentenced, and they still changed it.
That's right. I don't even know how that is possible.
I don't either.
And they had a video, and he said he did it. Well, do you know what I mean? I'm like, how much more proof do you want? How do you want? We video it. We got a statement. We got video. I mean, what else do you want?
Yeah, I agree. It teaches other victims that nothing's going to be done. So why subject yourself to coming forward and nothing being done?
And himself, he says, can't touch me.
Not only that, in a lot of other cases, the victim is the one that is the blame. They put the blame on the victim. Oh, they had a short time. Something else, you know.
I just did a hearing today. I just did a hearing about that nurse that was in the psych ward where people come when they got problems if they want to commit, and they're passed out and the police bring them there for some mental health a checkup and everything. Well, this nurse since 2000, he's male. He's mixed race. I don't know if anyway, he's black, but he's mixed with something because that's what they said. But anyway, 2019, this hospital or he was known and he was still allowed to work as a nurse. And these people that come in are vulnerable, right? They're drunk. They're out of their head. They've tried to overdose or whatever they're doing, right? And he took advantage of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a big, massive lawsuit on the hospital. And it's up to $100 million lawsuit, one of the biggest lawsuits out there. And it's getting national. Do you know what I mean? It's a big case. Well, anyway, the hearing was today. And I was thinking about his lawyers. I was like, what the hell? And they were talking and treating the victim like, Wait, you were drunk. You don't know. You can't remember. How can you remember this but can't remember that? They were really attacking the witnesses that were on the stand. And their faces were not shown. We could just hear because they're victims. And, the judge let his lawyers have it. Listen, it's going. Okay, you are being charged on this count, this count, this count, this count. Next witness. Okay, you're being charged with this count, this count, this count. It's going to trial, man. It's going to trial.
Nona has a point. Everything she says in here is correct. He also, Jesse Butler, he violated the conditions of his bond 3 times, and nothing happened to him. His bail was not revoked. He repeatedly contacted and harassed his victim. It's just sick. I agree. And now he don't have to register. He don't have to do stuff. He has to do anything. 150 hours of community service.
Yeah, but I heard that he's still doing it, and he can't have social media or nothing. What does that mean? He can't have a phone? Well, you can have social media on a phone. How are they stopping him having social media? And I heard that he's still... Huh?
They got to catch him using social media.
Well, if he gets another phone, like a burner phone, right, uses a different account, how are they going to catch him? He uses a different name, a different account.
What do I do? That kid's going to be on social media. Come on.
Yeah, for a year?
Well, after a year, when he turns 19, everything's gone. He don't even have to do anything to have it expunged. This is going to go away.
But, what the condition was, if he breaks any of these, any violations, he's going to prison for 10 years. Oh, you can see that happening? He's broke them already. Hello, he's broke them already.
Yeah, but who's going to be making sure he's not breaking them? Probably nobody.
That's right. He doesn't even have an ankle bracelet on or anything.
Yeah, you're right. Butler has proven that he is not amenable to rehabilitation.
No, he's not. And plus, you can't rehabilitate these kind of offenders because they're just sick that way, and it's in them. Where did he go from what he did to these girls, which was bad? How did he get there? What was he doing before? How did he work up to that? Because normally they do.
I think
they got some violent anger issues. Number one, violent anger issues. And his parents should be ashamed to think, oh, my son's innocent.
I wonder what they did.
The parents can't say this boy's innocent, number one. No, they can't. The proof is there. The proof is there.
The parents could have put him in some kind of like home and get rehabilitation stuff. I bet they ain't did nothing. They probably think their son hasn't did anything wrong.
That's what I'm saying, because they're stupid. They're naive, or they got money. They got money. They could have gave him treatment.
They have connections. Again, that's a college town. That's a big thing. They're connected to the college. The parents are.
And we know these kids that play football. We know that these kids play football and everything. They have issues. Okay, they got a lot of issues. We know that it's been proven. They got anger issues, and they like to do all this stuff. Okay, it's been proven, and they turn out to be killers. Okay.
Yeah. So, Mama lost Rhonda, and I am afraid he will find even younger victims. That's very possible.
Because he likes the young ones.
Well, and he threatened the victims that he would kill their families and stuff if they told.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like the fact that the case is getting some traction because it needs it.
How is he?
Traction.
But this treatment that he has to go through, is it really treatment, or is it just some therapy? It's not really. What's the difference?
We don't know. Oh, he could say he's going and talking to somebody even at a church. What is this treatment? I agree.
Yeah. What is his treatment?
We don't know.
Is his treatment going to a spa day or something? Get a massage or what? Or we want to know.
We do want
Well,
to know.
And what doctor therapists are you seeing? We want to know to make sure they're legit.
I do believe that Justin will dig more into that. Just in the nick of time, Justin, I think he'll dig more into it. He's not going to stop.
And they'll probably follow up to make sure that he's, well, you know, this medical privacy act and everything. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But we have the right to know whether he's abiding by the law. Because we want to know if he's going to break the law, you know, break his what you call it? If he breaks, you know, the conditions, that is, the conditions, we want to know if he's breaking the conditions or not.
For sure. Yep, I agree.
And the only way we're going to know is somebody has to make sure that it's being followed up. And that's not getting into medical or anything. That's, we want to know if he's following the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate to even think about following the plan. He should be in prison.
Absolutely.
People have been in prison for a long time for less. People got
So one
more
law-
time for smoking marijuana and things like that for less. And there he is, he walked. And they've got years in prison.
One law I used to love, Heat of the Night. One law says they should take a lesson from In the Heat of the Night. A justice's grandson did the same thing, and a victim's mother took care of him herself and happily went to prison.
Some people are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people believe in following the law.
Well, and when what she's saying is when the law didn't work for them, they did their own justice, is what it sounds like.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. If they can't get justice for whatever happened, you are going to force parents to do something they really don't want to do, but they're going to do it because they didn't get justice.
Right. So Melanie, I'd hit her up. I talked to Melanie, and we talk on the phone and stuff. And I really like Melanie Little. She did a live the other day, and it has to do with Granny, Tiffany Adams, and she talks about Jesse Butler in this.
Yeah.
In this, we're gonna play.
That's the one that mentioned your name, Brock.
Oh yeah, she's a sweetheart. Like I said, we talk on the phone, and she's got a lot of followers. My gosh, she's got 129,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
She's got quite a few. Okay, let's listen to this a little bit.
Real time. There was blood at the scene.
Her entry.
She pled no contest. Whole thing. And so yesterday I was on.
I thought I had it at the right spot, but.
But 11:30, we're going to pivot over to the audacity of Massachusetts because there's a lot of things that have happened since yesterday. And so yesterday I was on Billy Bush in the morning, and then I was on Howie Carr around 3 o'clock. And so many things have happened since then with the audacity of Proctor and all of it. And so,
yeah,
right now we're going to stay in Oklahoma, and then at 11:30 we're going to teleport over back to Massachusetts for the audacity of it all. But if you've been with me for a long time, you may remember that I started covering the case of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly when they went missing. And that was back around Easter weekend of 2024. I don't even know if I can find my old notes, but yeah, that's when it was. They went missing. Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly, Kansas moms, as we called them back then, were reported missing on March 30th of 2024. And I remember doing a live show, and that is when they were missing. And we connected with a woman whose handle is Rock Chalk. She was a viewer of mine. And she got in her trailer with her horses and her dogs, and she went down to the Oklahoma Panhandle to help look for Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Do you remember that? I need to actually link the playlist below, because I don't know if I did that already, but I think I've already done at least 5 shows on it. But it's been a very long time since I've done a show, and I kind of figure out the best way to talk about it in the most gentle way, because this is one of the most gruesome cases I think that I've ever handled that doesn't involve children. It's horrific. In last December, a preliminary hearing was held in which 2 of the 5 people arrested.
Have you seen this, Justice?
I watch her sometimes.
Have you seen this one though? That you did?
No. No.
We'll keep playing it then. Here we go.
With regard to the deaths of Veronica and Jillian were testified. And last night I was reading the testimony of Paul Grice from the preliminary hearing, and it is chilling. I saw the thing. I saw that. Oh, thank you, Michelle. I saw Michael Foster's. It's the same victim. She just gave you a different interview. It's a new interview. I started to listen to it last night.
She's reading her comment.
I have not heard the whole thing. So do I have your permission to play the interview later if we do it on another show? Just let me know if it's okay, Michelle.
She's a
To play
lawyer.
parts of it. Thank you. Thanks, Michelle.
She still
Michelle's
work as
amazing.
a lawyer,
That's
right?
Arkansas. That's Arkansas. There's corruption everywhere, not just in Massachusetts, but
Oh, I was trying to.
the hearing part about the Oklahoma.
What the hell? What are you
Some of
doing?
you who live there and have written to me
I was trying to speak
about
it
the
up.
Oklahoma Panhandle is that's literally like there's a part of it I think that is called no man's land, and it really kind of is like no man's land. Like it's in some ways it's like lawlessness like you've never seen. If you thought Massachusetts was incestuous with regard to the law enforcement and the generational law enforcement and the power, what goes on in Oklahoma is scary. And I remember when Rock Chalk was down there, and I have live interviews with her. She called in many times, and she was in fear for her life a lot of the time. And it's scary. It's desolate there, and it was really scary. And so we're going to talk about that.
And if truth be known, Melanie begged me to leave every day. She would call me and beg me to leave. Do not stay there. Get there.
I would have said, get the hell out of there. That's what I said. Hell
Called
no.
me a lot. Get out of there. Don't stay there. Get out of there. I
No,
fear for
because
your
you
life.
would disappear in the fridge.
Absolutely.
Out a little bit because Grandma Tiffany Adams with 1 F took a plea, and she's gonna be sentenced come January. So I think 3 of them have taken pleas, and I guess 2 of them are to stand trial. January 28th, she's going to be sentenced. She pled no contest, as did this other kid, Jesse Butler. That is a horrifying story. Thank you, Suzanne, for bringing that to my attention. I don't know if you're here today. But that's a horrifying story too. This kid, Jesse Butler, 17 years old, the horror that he inflicted upon other girls his age. And could it be? I'm aware, MPB, but it's different. It's a different stream. So I know that there's people in here from Oklahoma. So are we having a problem so far? If we have a problem, just bring it to my attention and I'll take care of it. I mean, listen, there's always going to be trolls. We even have a troll emoji for that. But, you know, I figured the people from Oklahoma should come in and be able to talk about it because they have a special interest in this case. And Suzanne tells me there's going to be a rally on November 5th about the Jesse McBuck case. I think his dad used to be a football coach at Oklahoma State, but I haven't been able to confirm that in any mainstream news. So if anybody has any information that they want to send me while we're going here, it's at mlittlelaw.com. If anybody knows anything about this rally that's supposed to happen on, I think it's November 5th, because the town is outraged, the parents are outraged, I'm outraged, and you're going to be outraged by it too. But so much of this is so gross that I have to tiptoe around it because YouTube doesn't like all of the things that I talk
That's what
about.
we hate
And
about.
so
We have to tiptoe around things.
actually, the
It's
last
ridiculous.
I did that had to do with Aaron.
Absolutely. And then because of what you're talking about, like her, you know, she gets money from YouTube. She does it a lot. You can't monetize
we
it.
can't. But we can't even say words what's in the English dictionary. That is legal. Do you know what I mean? On YouTube streets, it's illegal to use one word.
Yep.
By the sound
sure.
of it. It's crazy.
Spencer was also unfortunate.
Learn another language or something.
Yep.
We could learn that language. You know, our kids used to use. Hold on. We should learn a language. You know, like our kids used to use when they were teenagers. They talk a gibberish. You know, gibberish. We should talk like that, and YouTube won't understand us.
Right. Poor Melanie. Every time I stop it, like she's got one eye open, one eye closed.
She got no makeup on. She looks a bit tired.
She's been doing a lot of lives. Like this stream went directly to another stream.
Oh, yeah. She looks a bit tired or hot, one or the other.
And she has children, you know.
And she has a job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like her normal job, I'm saying.
Somebody said she was semi-retired. So let's see what she has. Somebody said she's semi-retired. She made a lot of money. Here it is. She is very comfortably semi-retired. She made huge dollars by winning against the Catholic Church pedophiles.
Oh, did she? Oh.
I don't know nothing about that.
Well, I know a lot about it in England when it happened in Ireland. My friend got a lot of money. Remember years ago when they sued the Catholic in Ireland for all those children in the homes, the nuns and the preacher man. Oh yeah, that was a big loss. Same thing. That's what they
check this out. Hold on. I want to stop this for a minute. I want to show you something.
And more. They ended kids' life. They just disappeared. They were badly abused there. Badly. I said, yeah, but who ends up paying this lawsuit? You know, the Catholic Church is very rich, you know. Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Oh, what is that? New York faces suit seeking $1.45 billion.
Billion?
It's on the screen. Nearly 3 dozen people claim, let me read it. Nearly 3 dozen people who claimed they were sexually abused by priests in a Roman Catholic diocese on Long Island filed a pair of suits Monday seeking almost $1.5 billion from the priests and church. This is clear back from 2003. The lawsuits claim the nation's 6th largest with about 1.5 million parishioners. Let's go see here. When I typed in her name,
is she in? New York? Is she in New York?
Yeah.
Which state?
Yeah. A second lawsuit filed on behalf of 11 alleged victims by attorney Melanie Little claims church leaders committed a fraud on the public by allowing children to attend schools and church functions where they knew pedophile priests to be present. That suit seeks $1 billion in punitive damages, $100 million for pain and suffering, and $50 million for special damages.
They gonna get it, you think?
Well, they did get it.
That's a lot.
They did get it. That was clear back in 2003.
No, but did they get it? Because it goes on, they appeal it. I'm saying. I mean, are their appeals over? Do you know what I mean? Because they get to appeal it. Oh, they got it. So the appeals were, so when they said, hey, we're going to appeal this decision, that's already been done. Okay.
Right. That was clear back from 2003.
I know, but some appeals go on for a long time, don't they? You know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that made them broke. There. Where did they get that money from? Insurance? Were they insured for that? No, they can't. How did they get that
You would
money?
think something like that. That's crazy. Yeah, they paid it. That's what it sounds like. See, you knew more about it than I knew that, like Melanie, she was in a couple movies. I don't know if you guys knew that, but she was in a couple movies. I
Yeah.
did not go as deep to know about this case, about the
Mhm.
Catholic churches. But she is very passionate about this stuff. I knew that. And I know a little bit more because we talked, but we never talked about this.
Well, if
Okay.
anybody's got time to go over to my channel and watch the live I did today, you're going to be shocked. And that entails, victims in the hospital going there for treatment, what that nurse did to them.
How
A male
long is
nurse. Well, I just said if you got a chance to go, I don't know how long it is, an hour. It was a hearing to see if the judge was going to charge him for these offenses, and she just said yes. So if you look on the video how long it is, and then if you get time, you can just have an idea of what this case is. And it's a big lawsuit for the hospital. For the hospital, ooh, I got an echo. Yeah, 150 million they're getting sued for because they had a nurse that had trouble in 2019. They knew about it and they swept it under the mat.
Is this it? Do I got the
No,
right
it's
thing?
a video. No, it's a video, not a short. It's a video. It's a live stream. A live stream. That's my shorts. No, that was the one here in West Allis, that those parents ended the life of their little boy.
Where's your live from earlier?
Live. Where is it?
I don't see it.
You know what YouTube does to my videos? Do you know what they do to them? They wait. I'll play a live and then it ends. And then they say it'll be live in 24 hours. I'll be like, well, that could be history by.
It's not on here. See,
Well,
it's
let me
not
see
on.
if I can. Yeah, YouTube. That's why nobody can find nothing.
Now you could go into your studio and play it that way, but wow, that's weird.
Well, let me see. Hold on a minute. Or I just wasn't going to play it on your live. I was just saying if you get a chance, it'll give you a rough idea of what. It's
The only church
processing.
with more money
See,
than the Catholics is the Mormons, is what.
oh, you
Mama's
know why
saying.
you can't see it? You know why you can't see it? Because it's unlisted. What? I'm going to make it public now. What the hell happened there? See, this is what you got to watch it. You go into there, make sure everything's live. Do you know what I mean? It was unlisted. I didn't put it unlisted. Have a look again. I just made it public. How dumb. I'll put the link in. I got it. Yeah. I just made it public, but it still says it's processing 24 hours. They do it to me all the time. Can you see it now? Just give it a second. I put the link in. Anyway, this guy is very much disgusting. Disgusting. If you listen to these victims, oh my God, what he did, especially to one of them. She was passed out somewhere because she was drunk or something, and they took her to the hospital, and then she wanted some help, and she ended up with this thingy in her mouth and everything like that. It's disgusting. It's full of sexual stuff. That's what it's
really
about.
Evil or really not. She said there's none of that. What it is.
Oh, I put that one up. That's much.
I'm trying to see if your new one came up.
All right, live. Right, live.
I'm
there
on
it
live.
is.
I don't see it. Where is it? Where is it?
I put the link in.
I know, but I'm on your site. I'm on your channel, and I'm not seeing it.
I just put it live. I mean, I just put it public. It was saying it was unlisted. This is what YouTube does to you. It's probably because it was full of whatever it was full of. Right. It says public. Well, it's there. Well, if you click on that link, it should take you to it. If it doesn't, it's because the YouTube's messing up. Okay. If it is, it's because YouTube's messing up.
Well, it's not on there because I'm on your live right now, and it's not there.
Well, see if that link is working in your chat. Click on it. Is it working, the link?
If I click on it, it won't do anything for me. It won't let me click on it.
All right, let me go to your YouTube because I went out of your YouTube. Let me go into your YouTube. Click on YouTube. All right, let me see. Hold on. Oh, God, hold on. Right, I'm going to click on the link. There it goes. Yeah, it went straight to it. For me. I have to edit that at the beginning. I got that woman's face at the beginning. I don't know how that happened. Must have started the line before I changed the picture. Right, let me go into my channel and let me see what it says on my lives. All right, what I'm seeing is, I see my live up there. You sure ain't your Yeah, I see my live up there. I see it. It's next to the Jesse Mack Butler case. Let's talk. That was you. That was our live. And it's next to that. It's the first one. Then it's that one.
I see it now.
It took all that time to come up.
Yeah, what happens when the person in scrubs is the one who breaks you? That one?
Yeah. That man's face, you see?
2 hours. It's almost 2 hours, but you already shared the link, but
well, you only have to, if you get a chance. This nurse is disgusting, and they knew about it and covered it up and swept it under the table. Each and every one of them. This woman reported it to the social workers, the people that's in the hospital and stuff like that. He used a fake name. The nurse, she asked him what his name was, and he said such and such. He even gave her a fake name. That's against the law. When you go to a hospital, you're supposed to wear your badge and you are supposed to give your full name, right? Well, your name, right? You're supposed to wear your ID. And he had a fake one. Or he gave her a fake name, but I don't know if he was wearing a fake name tag. He thinks that these people went there for some mental health treatment, that they're stupid or something. This is why I always say, if you're going to the dentist or having any treatment nowadays, there's always has to be 2 in the room when you are being treated for anything, because that saves you and that guards them, right? What happened to that policy? What happened to that policy when there's supposed to be 2 in a room? He wasn't even supposed to be examining them. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He was just a nurse treating them for something. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know exactly what his job was.
Damn.
But if you're being treated for anything, like have a smear test or something, you should always have somebody in the room.
Yep, I agree.
And if you're not being treated for anything like that, they shouldn't be touching you anyway. It's like she called them for help. One of them called them for help because she fell or she wanted to go to the bathroom. She was unsteady on her feet. And they're supposed to help her to the bathroom. Do you know what I mean? They're not supposed to be doing anything else.
Right.
A nurse.
It's crazy. So one law says probably AI messing up. Yesterday I got home from Petco and I got a text asking, how was my visit at PetSmart? It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, so she says. I believe her.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's an interesting one if you're into that kind of thing, but it's sexual and it's disgusting. Just saying.
I'll go check it out. I haven't had a chance to see it today. I hadn't even been on my computer until right before this live. So, did you see me ask Justin if I could share it on my live? He said, yeah.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I asked him in the chat, and he said, yeah.
Well, he wants the word to get out, because this is what it was about, was spreading, getting voices out there. Yeah, spread the word. Spread the word is.
I'm that way with anything we cover. Obviously, we're covering it because we want it out there. So I like it when a lot of people's covering it. You got to get it out there.
Yeah, It's a shame I don't live near you. I would have came.
Oh, I know you would have.
That's a long way for me to go just for a rally.
Yeah, it's only 2 hours for me. And honestly,
well, if I had a lot of money, I suppose I could get on a plane and come and stuff like that, or get a decent car. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll be. I mean, if you can always hire a car. Do you know what I mean? But
well, I plan on going to Stillwater anyway, and they got a couple lakes around there where I could park the bus. I know Sarah's going to go. I don't know who else is going to go, but we might just spend a couple days there too.
That's what I say. You can spend a couple of days out there and see the sights. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Well, we're already going to be spending the gas, so probably just go and stay a couple days just to get away. You can get away.
Yeah, or you can go get some interviews. Talk to the people in the street.
Listen, Nona, I'm the same way. I have actually been watching this shit with Lauren, and I really haven't said anything, but it's my channel, so I'm going to say what I think. And this is my personal opinion of the whole Lauren shit. Yeah. It's like her and that girl and some other girls quit being friends, and she was going to show them. That would be like, for example, I'm just going to use Derek, just for example, a guy down in Elkhart. Say we don't really get along. I don't hate him, but he don't like me. But either way, we don't get along. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But he started covering the God's Misfits and all the situation. That would be like him going and filing something on me, a protective order, just so I couldn't go to the court.
That's right.
I feel like exactly what you said. I feel like Lauren has definitely abused what she did. I think she's made a big deal out of something that should not have been made a big deal, and I think she was trying to use her power. That's what I think.
That's why I put that video up there, that short, because that was done some years ago, right? And that's what she said. And the thing is, I said, there's something wrong with her. Really.
Well, everybody's been covering this Lauren thing. Everybody's been covering it. I want to tell you, I never watched this guy, and y'all are going to know who he is, but I came across this today, and he had me cracking up. He did have me cracking up, but it's Turtle Boy.
He had me cracking up. The eyebrows, man.
Okay, hold on, I'm going to play this. He had me laughing so hard today. Just his commentation.
Part one.
I like his commentary.
So Lauren Matthias did have a two-party hearing with Christina, the TikTok lady, her former friend.
Okay. Do you know whether or not that investigation remains open?
To my knowledge, it's closed.
Okay. And what's your knowledge on it based on?
Based on the police reports, the officer.
And from your
we get it where Lauren because he was cracking me up.
That's the only. All right. So this is just.
Oh, here he goes.
About police reports. I was really going on police because I'm being accused of abusing the law, of abusing police, making false police reports. So, let's get into this. This is it's a big deal. This is the respondent through counsel, meaning my stalker, filing this memorandum opposition for the request of a civil stalking injunction. This is why she feels it's unnecessary. Let's read it, and I'll put you things. I think there were the arguments. I suspect that her counsel. Let's just read it. Let's just get it.
Yeah, this is from her counsel.
So her response, in other words,
Okay, her response. Okay, yep.
Through counsel, the respondent, through counsel, hereby files this memorandum in opposition to the request for civil stalking and use on a variety of other platforms. Actually, being somewhat kind of understanding media, I think I would call myself actually a limited public figure, but nonetheless,
Okay.
it's fine. Hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers on YouTube and a variety of other platforms. Matthias uses these platforms to speak out on a range of issues, including current events, legal news, true crime, and culture. But Matthias also has a history of using various means to deprive others of the very same rights she exercises. Several individuals have been the subject of cease and desist letters. So I stop right there. 3 people and this year have been the subject of cease and desist letters from me. That is true.
Of course they
3
have.
people. 2 of them are ex-contract workers to request that they stop sharing texts of mine. And then the 3rd person that I mentioned is Lindsay, ex-producer of mine. For
Maybe
completely separate reasons,
that should
nothing to
probably
do
be a
with
red
those
flag.
others. Completely separate.
Okay, yeah.
And I've
I
already-
know, Nana. I laughed my ass off.
Listen, I was cracking
Police-
up.
Eyebrows.
So she's claiming.
I have never watched him before, but he just
Oh, you
he was
haven't?
cracking me up on this.
Yeah, he was in the Karen Reed thing. All into the Karen Reed thing. Totally.
Well, it seems like all these people, all these channels are going over this. And at first, you know, when she did that 9-hour, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a little bit and I thought, oh boy, she's being stalked. I'm going to say, in my opinion, it don't seem like she was being stalked. She just didn't want the other girl to be able to go to CrimeCon.
That's right. She wasn't being stalked. She used the law and weaponized it. You could tell right away it was damage control because
But
of what
nobody was
she's
calling
done.
her phone. Well, nobody was calling my phone, she says.
That's right. And what right does law and order have to stream my case? And
Well, she
there
dropped
she
it. She didn't want to be on the camera when she's somebody that goes around and films people. But she don't want to be on camera.
Well, what we didn't know is at the time is, well, we did know that she dropped the case at the time, but what she wanted us to hear was her case. She did it in the public opinion. She read everything else that was going to be her case, what her lawyer said, but it was never heard in court, okay? It was never heard in court because she dropped it. What was heard in court was Christina's witnesses, and it's out now. If you're listening to it, it's out. The whole transcript and everything is out.
Yeah, he goes over it.
Yes, but
He goes
that was
over
what
it.
her 9. But she did the 9-hour live is to get it out first and get the narrative out and get her sorry story out. And now we know that she is a little ill or something. Maybe she had a breakdown. I don't know. But going back the years, you could, with everything that was going on.
Hold on.
Yeah, but
she said she was suicidal over this. Lauren says it herself that she was suicidal over this. Are you kidding me?
yes. And not only that, her son is like it too. Now I'm just like, what's her son got to do with it? I'd like to know. Why is your son coming into this? He can't eat. She says she can't eat. Her son can't eat. She says her husband's got blood pressure problem. Yeah, because he's overweight. Because he's sick of listening to you, I expect. That's why.
What she did to these other women, just because they wasn't friends no more, I hope they sue her. I find it very bad. Very disrupting.
If you haven't watched everything, I don't know you listen to this, but everything's getting out there.
I haven't
What
because
she
everybody
wanted-
was nuts.
I know, but you might not have watched it all. But did you hear about what was in the document that she wanted Christina to be put in jail and 1 month in jail, whatever. She wanted her to be on an ankle bracelet or something like that and blah, blah, blah. Yes, she wanted all that. She wanted so much. What? For a stalking thing that you can't prove? She goes, well, I got one. You know, but you got one in one of the easiest states there is to get one. Yeah, but it's so easy to get one there. Huh?
Okay, I'm going to one more time. She dropped it because she didn't want to be filmed and be on camera. But that's what her job is. She goes and films people and puts them on camera. But here she's making these allegations and she didn't want to be on camera. There's a problem.
Well, of course there was a problem. We could hear the problem. And it was so obvious to me that she has lost the plot. And I believe me, I said she needs to take a break. She got her sick brother. Now she's got her sick mother. And then listen to that that video I did, that short. It just tells you. It just tells you. She didn't even believe that this person had a stalker. And this is the
But she
reason
didn't have
why.
a stalker.
It's pity.
She did
It's
not
for
have a stalker.
pity. No, she said the stalker was for a pity in this 4 years ago, I'm saying 4 years ago when she said that. It's a pity show. It's for pittiness. That's what it's about. She wanted to.
Before?
Huh?
You're saying she did this before?
No, she did a video on stalkers. And what she said was, she talked to this doctor or something that wrote a book about it. And she put the narrative out there. It's a pity show. Exactly what she did. Yeah, but exactly what she did, it's a pity show. It's for a narrative. It's for attention. It's for attention. She'd do anything for attention. And this is beginning to turn out like it is the case.
Well, again,
she's had so many people leave her for the same reason. Not everybody can be wrong. All these text messages that she went through for 6 years, who would do that? It's because she said nasty things about people.
in text,
Remember what
yeah,
she said.
they want it out.
Remember what she said in group chats and everything. Remember what she said. I am a different, because she said about swearing and stuff. She goes, I'm a different person on YouTube than I am off, and I believe it. She's a totally different person. Not in the nice way. And it's coming to light. It's coming to light from a lot of people now. It's coming to light. Lori, the lawyer, Lori H, I call her Lori H. She's got receipts, and this happened 3 years ago, what she was doing to these people. It happened 3 years ago. She was losing her fans, if you know what I mean. She was losing people that were really good people that were into this trial. But Lori wanted to be the top one. She even did it to Gigi. Gigi, Pretty Lies and Alibis, what she did to her. Can you believe what she did to her? She didn't say exactly what she did to her, but she said it wasn't nice. And I believe that Laura, I call her Laura, she wanted her job. I'm telling you, it comes down to jealousy. I'll tell you what, she's got a problem, this one. And it's so obvious. Whatever the problem is, it's a dog-eat-dog world, I'm telling you. But anyway, the truth will come out. The truth will come out. She can't be using her son because I feel she's the one scaring him. Her 8-year-old didn't need to know anything that was going on in her life, doesn't need to listen to what she's talking about, and she's hardly at home. I think the kid is playing up. He's probably got some issues, and she can't handle it. She leaves the house and goes to a hotel and does all her recordings because she's never there. And I said, maybe there's something wrong in her marriage, okay? Or even her husband probably thinks she's off a rocker. That's just my opinion.
Okay, I'm going to say something. Nona says it happened over 10 years ago, and she even lost her network job. So this is
She lost it. She lost it. Do you mean she got fired? It's not like she just went and had a kid, the way she said it. Like, oh, I just moved on and went and met my husband and had a kid and, took a rest from a job. It wasn't even nothing like that, is it? No. That's not even the case, is it? I think there's something wrong with her, really, her mental health, if you ask me. And she's probably, what do you call it? Not a psychopath or, something like that. I don't know what she is.
To PhD.
Yeah, her kid is 8. Yeah, her kid is 8. At first, I thought that wasn't even his kid. I thought because she said she was married before, I thought it was her first husband's kid. That's what I thought at first. I was like, is it like, I don't care. I'm just saying, I don't care. But I thought, oh, is that, where she's away from her house all the time? I was thinking, oh, maybe her ex-husband's got the kid or something. That's why I was thinking it wasn't his kid. But I think I do believe she is. And just because she's got a YouTube and she does this crime, right? It costs a lot of money to do what she's doing, right? Because she doesn't even do the job. She gets people working for her and transcripts and everything. She doesn't even do much for herself, right? And
well, just because you don't like someone, you can't go and file shit like she did. That's crazy. Nona says she was married before and told that whole story on Mormon Stories with John Dillon. Now,
and she knew her marriage wasn't going to work, and she knew her marriage wasn't going to work. Something like that. You know what I mean? Okay. Listen, she is, with all this coming out, these YouTubers that do drama are showing absolutely everything, making her look like a fool, contradicting her statements, and making her look like she's a lunatic. And okay, you don't like somebody, and guess who came onto the Web Sleuths channel? That guy, what's his name? The white guy, and Megan, right? And I didn't really like that guy when I first met him. I thought he was slimy, okay? Slimy. And I thought, if I got a first instinct about somebody that I said he's odd, he's like a pedio or slimy, do you know what I mean? That's exactly right. He went to the Delphi trial. Well, Lori stops doing what she's doing, and she goes there. Do you know what I mean? Because she's all around the United States of America, okay? He was in line in a cold state, right? It's a bit chilly there. Do you know what I mean? They had to wait for hours and line up to get in the courthouse because, it wasn't being televised. And Lori came in and jumped the line.
Lauren,
and he said,
call her Lauren because her name is Lauren. Make sure you're using Lauren.
Okay. I'll use her real name, shall I? I was just calling her that, so I wouldn't say her real name. Do you know what I mean?
Because everything's all over, and it's Lauren. So
Lauren, that's my granddaughter's name, and she jumped the line, and he didn't like that. And remember that Lauren left because she had some drama going on. She left at 2:00 in the morning because there was some drama. Yeah, because she thought she was somebody and she should get to the front because she has to be in there because she's very important.
She still thinks she's somebody.
So I just mean things like that happen. That's probably been happening. It's pissed people off.
Listen, there's going to be people you don't like, but you can't just go file false accusations on them. That's the thing. Just so she didn't want her to be at the crime con. And you know what really is sad is when these other creators like Joe Schmo and them was there and they jump
That's
on
who
board.
I'm talking about. Joe Smo, whatever his name is. That's who I was trying to think of his name.
He's going around to all these channels. He looks like a fool. In my opinion, he looks like a fool.
I said next minute he'll be doing a tour. He's doing a tour on every channel now because he's very important. You know that, don't you?
So
from
important.
Indiana.
What? How many? Let's see. How many subscribers he's got? He hardly has any subscribers.
From Indiana. The man is from Indiana.
He's the one that's been talking to.
Well, he's new. He's new. West Sleuths, Megan, and all those. They're all grouping up. They're in their little group. But
yeah, they are.
He's a liar. He's a liar. He don't trust this he's slimy. He's a liar. He don't even speak the truth until he gets called out on it. He was called out on it.
He's the one that
on the
took
website.
pictures like he was somebody. He took the pictures. Okay.
All right. Did you hear the story about how the pictures got taken?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Megan was on Web Sloops and he joined the chat too, right? So Megan was telling her version of the latest video that Lauren did, okay? And this is how it was her interpretation, okay? Listen, if you're going to say something, don't rewrite the script, okay? Don't rewrite the script. But anyway, so he gets on and the question was asked, okay, yeah, I took some pictures. And Megan said, yeah, you took pictures and I took video. And Joe put his finger to his mouth and said, shh, like, shut up. Okay. How did you know to take pictures and Megan take a video? Well, we know it was planned, okay? He said he knew nothing about what was going on. He knew nothing. But the thing is, he did. And what they did was, Christina, they both have to be 500 yards or feet away from each other, right? Christina was 500 feet away from Lauren. Lauren came to her. They moved 3 times. They were there and they got closer and closer and closer. And he took the picture on the 3rd move, right? That made her a table away. How do you think that looks? That is crazy. That is crazy. You see how, and you say you didn't know, Joe? You didn't know? And all his lies came out. And he was asked, have you watched the 9 hours of her show? He said no. And all these other channels said, well, come back when you've watched the 9 hours.
Is it in this live here?
Yes, with him. Yeah, with those two. Yeah.
Where's it at?
They
I want to play it.
I don't know which part it's at. It's in there somewhere with those two talking. You'll have to find it.
Let's see. I'm gonna try. Hold on.
If you see his hand come up with his finger to his mouth, it's around that area. If you see him come up with his finger to
let's see what he's got to say. Oops, I went too far.
Yeah, just listen to what you got to say. Listen to
him up there like he's somebody.
That's what I mean. He's slimy.
Look, he's laughing there. Let's go.
It's not true.
It's not true. We love him. Joe.
We love Joe. We don't even know who Joe is. He's got 3,000 followers. Come on, give me a break.
No, they know him because he goes to trials, but that don't mean you know a person, for Christ's sake.
Oh, because he went to CrimeCon? Wow. Okay.
He went to crime. He goes everywhere. He gets into everybody. Do you know what that reminds me of? A video.
Because I want to go in those
Okay,
chats.
let's listen to him. Let's be quiet for a minute. I want to hear what he has to say. Why was it so important that he had to jump on this?
Because
show me the hundreds of people that she sent it to. Show me those emails. It's just crazy. Hey, Joe Schmo's here. I just want to bring him up really quickly. Joe, I don't know how much you can comment or if you want to comment, but you were at CrimeCon too, and dancing on the tables naked a lot of the time. People don't know that, but
he never had clothes on the whole time we were there. I was like, Joe,
it's embarrassing.
Just kidding. That's not true.
Not true. We love him. Joe's the nicest guy ever.
Yuck.
But Joe, is there anything you would like to add, my darling?
I just want to say that I have watched some of the other channels and some of the other flying monkey things going on, and there are misrepresentations of the facts that are going on. Like,
what about the misrepresentation that Lawrence did? Jesus.
It's I was there in person and I
He
saw
never watched it.
Some of the stuff, maybe a good deal of the stuff, maybe most of the stuff, and there are misrepresentations of the facts. that are out there, and it drives me nuts because I want to go in those chats and I want to be like, you're getting this wrong.
Maybe you
like,
got it wrong, Joe.
Just get the facts.
He didn't
right.
watch
like,
it.
You can disagree
No.
with me. You can not like Lauren. You can
No, Joe, you can't not like Lauren.
whatever it is you want to do.
Or she
You
files
have the First
protection
Amendment
orders.
right to do that, but get the facts right. Just get the facts right.
Exactly.
They should have
Just
got the
get
facts
them.
right. Okay, let's see here. So you say he's got his hand up by his face?
When Megan and him are talking, Megan's telling the story about taking the photos and the video. That's when he puts his mouth up to tell her.
You should understand that. Megan, do you have any comments?
I was really grateful that that Lauren went on there and that Duty Ron and Ed were able to validate.
You see that? I am curious what misconceptions Joe Schmo is observing. What did you hear that was wrong?
Her feelings, because so many people have been saying that she's overreacting, and that it's not the trauma alone.
Things have I seen that were like not right, and there were people that weren't there on Friday and Saturday night. So there was somebody who is a content creator who has posted multiple videos now, I believe, on this issue, who said I was there at Crime Con. She wasn't there Friday night.
She was there Friday. What?
How do you not know? You don't know who was there and who wasn't there. What? Could you cover the whole place, Joe? How do you know who was there and who wasn't? That's my question.
This is slimy. He's a liar.
Was she there Friday?
No. Oh, are you talking about Lauren? Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about somebody who said that they were there.
Oh, that they were there. They weren't. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. I'm really trying really hard not to like call people out by name.
He's making it up.
Friday night. So it happened. Yes, it happened over 2 nights. So there was Friday night and there was Saturday night. And Friday night was the night when it was like the most casual.
Joe, could you
like everybody's
did
just
Joe see everybody there at CrimeCon? Because that's what he's saying. They wasn't there. How do you know they wasn't there?
Hanging out, and Grayson and Lauren are freaking out.
They freaking out.
So you have to know this about my relationship with Lauren. When we first met,
He didn't like her. Yeah, I saw
over
this.
Delphi, I didn't like her. I did
I want to
not.
find the part where you said he has his hand at his mouth or something.
There is a section on something I sent you. I'd like to read just the first part.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know which part it is.
Watch it. Oh, there's a finger. Let's see.
Yeah, just go
One of the
towards.
biggest misconceptions. The other one is this is just not about TikTok. We've tried to show that tonight. Show exact person was asked all this Lauren's 9-hour live stream, and it is fantastic. So
I love that. I love that because I can't do 9 hours anymore.
I know.
Lauren, I'm sorry. So here's a confession. I didn't like Lauren when I first met her. I didn't like Grayson. But she and I have made up, and I consider her a very dear friend now.
Oh, that's sweet.
Now, what happens when you're not friends anymore? Is she gonna file something against you too? Because that's bound to happen. Or is he gonna be singing the same dance here when they don't get along no more? I don't know. Is this what you're talking about, though, Journey?
Well, the more he talks, the more he's doing a cover up, like he's the flying monkey. Okay.
I'm just gonna keep my opinion to myself about what I think of him.
Doesn't change how I look at this at all. Like I look at this very objectively. And I was there in person at CrimeCon, and I know what went.
Just because you paid $500 to go to CrimeCon, and Lauren had no other friends to be with her, so you're there, you know it all now. Is that how this is going? He didn't even watch her 9-hour live.
And he said everybody was wrong. Everybody was wrong. And they go, well, did you watch the show? And he said, no. So how does he know?
Exactly.
He don't even know what she said. He don't even know what was said.
That's crazy. Well, I'll tell you what, I think we did enough for tonight. So I don't care to watch him. But you got to know what you're talking about when you're going to jump on panels and try to dog people. And then you didn't even watch her 9 hours? Lordy.
He says he's good friends with her, but he's not a good friend, okay?
Well,
and don't
maybe
make out.
maybe that's the only friends he's got. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the only friends he's got.
This is why there's so much crap around this. See, when you
They all
start
did
out,
the hotel and they all did the Delphi. They're all good friends now? Really? Okay.
it's a cutthroat thing. You know, you want to be the best. You want to be known. She blames everybody but except herself. She's just blaming that all these networks don't want her anymore because of her stalker. No, that's not the reason.
Me and Hawkeyes was talking the other night on the phone. She called me. And she said, all these people, they're making fun of Lauren. And at that time, I said, I don't even know what to think because I really haven't watched it. And then it was just everywhere. I watched a little bit and I texted her back and I said, I don't think Lauren's right in this. Like, this is crazy. It's almost like a mean girl thing. Oh, you're not going to be my friend. I'm just going to keep you from going to CrimeCom and places you want to go. I'm going to go so you can't go. And I'm going to try to do a PFA on you so you can't go. That's what it seems like to me happened. I wasn't there, but from what I'm watching on the street here.
No, what everybody should have done, or what she should have done, but she wasn't going to do it, is this girl had a ticket for CrimeCon a year in advance. As soon as the tickets went on sale and everything, she got her package. Okay,
I saw on Truth and Transparency today that Lauren didn't get her tickets till August. In August, they were sold out. So where did Lauren get her ticket in August from?
Because people bought them and gave her a ticket, gave them their ticket, their package, when you got connections. But wherever she got her tickets, okay.
Sold out.
No, but I don't know how she got them. But however she got them, she got them. But the thing is, this girl had her tickets a long time before. She even got to the hotel before her and everything. And she had her kicked out, which was actually illegal to do because she was getting close to her and not keeping the distance. She even called the police on her when she see all these people in the restaurant that they were in eating, and she went to and called the police. And her Christina wasn't even there. She was in another country. Do you know what I mean? It's got ridiculous. But anyway, I think that she should have stayed and she should have went. First come, first served. She had her tickets before. She was there before. And you should never have showed up. But you showed up because you wanted it all out there for your narrative, so you could do this kind of thing and everybody feel sorry for you. It's attention seeking, whatever you want to call it. And this is how she feels of the stalker's law. This is how she feels that the law should be. But in the courtroom, that's not how it is. Period. And every state has a different law to their stalking laws. Do you know what I mean? Different judges have different opinions on things.
And she filed that stalking in Utah.
Because she lived there. That's Christina lived there. So she had to go to the state which the person lives in to do it. But the judge was told that Christina's job, she works for somebody big, a big company or some news channel, that she does artwork and she goes to these trials and stuff and takes pictures and whatever she does, right? That's her job. And Lauren's job is doing the same thing, doing trials. So you're going to meet up with each other, right? And you try to stop her being anywhere around you. When she did that video outside the courtroom, this girl was on the phone this one girl was on the phone and she was walking towards the courtroom. She wasn't even walking towards her, but she started following her and went into her face and called her, "You following me? You following me?" And the girl wasn't even following her.
That's crazy. That's just nuts.
No, I mean, things like that. When you listen to it all and everything like that, you have to make your own mind up. It doesn't mean you hate a person or anything. Anybody can have an opinion on it because it's out there. Have your opinion. But something's just not right. That's all I'm saying. And she may have felt this way because she has caused a lot of problems with everybody. So it's all coming out. What she's done in the past is coming back to haunt her. And she seems like she's not the nicest person to her friends and coworkers. And well, it's got around and she's got to take the punches now. Do you know what I mean? The backlash from it. You know, when she's got a lot of followers, it doesn't mean they're going to stop following, but they're going to say, well, what can I believe? Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm not going to take sides, but you don't even know that girl, Christina. You don't even know her. And she has a TikTok because she's an artist, a very good one. And she has a lot of people on there, but she don't want to mix drama with business, you know? So she made up another TikTok just to make some videos. Well, if you're going to talk about her and slander her and accuse her of all these things, but she can't have a say-so because you try to shut her down to get off media, not talk about her, but yet you can talk about her.
Now you got to be honest with yourself. I did see some TikToks that Christina did that she didn't say Lauren's name, but it was obvious she did them TikToks about Lauren.
Oh, yeah. Whatever she did, those TikToks.
Listen, I don't care if you got 1 follower or 50 followers. Right is right, wrong is wrong. What Lauren did is wrong, but to say that Christina didn't say stuff on her TikTok because she's got so many followers, that's crap. Because she did say
No,
stuff.
I didn't say she didn't say nothing. I'm saying is she made another TikTok because that's not her main account. But Lauren was trying to shut her down on her social media that she couldn't speak for herself, yet Lauren can say what she wants. And she couldn't say a thing. See, that's not right neither. But that girl, whatever she's saying, she shouldn't have said a few things, what she's doing, but that's on her. But this has to stop at one point, you know, because it won't never go away. Do you know what I mean? It's stupid. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It should stop. And you should call her by her name and not the stalker. Do you know what I mean? Because in the court of law, she's no longer a stalker, okay? She wasn't found guilty of being a stalker. You don't have a restraining order, a full-blown restraining order. That's ended. You drop the case. She's no longer a stalker. So you got to stop calling her one.
Yeah.
And whatever happened in their relationship, you know, working relationship, I don't know. But it's not just happened to her. It's happened to many people in her circle. Do you know what I mean? It's not just one person. It's not just her. See? And you think, well, when that happens, there's something not right with the one person then, is there? Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I want to get to these comments.
Okay.
Mama Lost Rhonda, sorry, back again. She's went through some things with her ex and had to file a protection order. She says, sorry, back again, kind of having a rough night. My heart rate is up and I'm having issues with it, but I wanted to let you know I checked on the protective order and I was told that they are going to let the ex know that he cannot be trying to contact me or he will be in trouble. He is trying to get a hold of me through my daughter. Yeah, you can't use a third person. Nona says, oh, Rhonda, take care of yourself. Be safe, praying for you. And then Rhonda comes back and says, I have been doing really well. And she has. And I refuse to let him get me down. She had to do a lot. She had to do a lot to get away from him. I'm so proud of her that she did get away from him. And she just got a job. And she's saying here that her hours have increased from 20 to 35. So things are looking up for Rhonda. We're so proud of her.
Go,
the cops,
Rhonda.
first and everything. Like she's been going through a lot. Rhonda's been going through a
Yeah,
lot.
but this is what I mean. This is what the law is for these type of people with this kind of crazy people that's really stalking them and bothering them. Hers is just like, oh, she did it. Like you said, mean girl. It's like, what the hell is going on? Stop abusing the system. You're taking up valuable time for real people that's in problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, that's just how she feels. But it's not like some other, like Rhonda's case or something like that. You know, it's different. Do you know what I mean? And you both go to the same places all the time. It's like for work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, it's, this is why I'm saying she probably got a problem in her family. It starts from the home, okay? It starts from the home. I don't know what's going on in that house, but that's just how I feel about it, that there's something wrong somewhere. You know, maybe she should take a break and take a rest and, you know, get some treatment for whatever's wrong, you know, and stop bringing your kid into it. Your kid shouldn't even be acting this way. And scared this way, not eating if there's something not right in that house, okay? Because this kid shouldn't even know. She doesn't even work at the house hardly. So I don't know what his problem is. The kid's problem, you know, mental health. You are putting this onto the kid. So I don't know.
Well, everybody's talking about it. So whatever Lauren tried to do, it looks like it's backfiring like crazy. And these people that jumped on the bandwagon with her look like fools. That's my take on it. See.
Well, yes, that's my take on it too. And what they should have done was slow down, let the information come out, let the other side come out, like the court proceedings. What was really said in that court? What was really said? And what was really said was damaging, okay? To her statements, I'm saying it's a contradiction. A contradiction. And and these and web sleuths, I've watched her from when she just had a few hundred subs, right? We used to have woo-woo night and everything and be talking and she'd always say hello and everything like that. Well, she ain't got time for people like us that were there from the beginning, right? And Trish was never like that. She would take both sides. She would take both sides, and now she's just listening to one version.
Mm-hmm.
And she never used to
Lana
do that.
Lana was saying today that Lauren requested a GPS ankle monitor and jail time for that girl.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said she tried to get her an ankle bracelet and get her jail time or something like that for something that hasn't even been proven in court that she did, because she never had her day in court until that day. Do you know what I mean? To the 14th or whenever it was. Who do you think you are? Do you know what I mean? And this woman going into trials with these victims of crime, I'm thinking, and you don't want your case being shown, but it's okay to want all these live streams and you show everybody's vulnerable weakness, crying, you know, and you want to video that. So, and she should be stronger than that. I mean, she should be. She's a professional. She is a professional. She's not like a YouTuber. Do you know what I mean? She was a news reporter. She's professional.
Here's what she wanted: a fine of 1,000 for a fine of 1,000 for each violation, totaling $6,000. Confinement in jail for the maximum 30 days. Payment of all the petitioner's attorney fees and costs incurred in bringing this motion. Payment of petitioners' travel and security costs necessitated by respondents' act or violations. What the hell? That's crazy. That's just nuts. And it all got dropped anyway. But so at some point, she should be held accountable for what she just tried to do. Wanted her put on probation for creating new social media accounts? Come on.
Uh-huh.
The
See,
hell?
when you look at the truth, what was really said in court, what she really wanted, without even proving a thing, except that she was being stalked. And I guess it's easy some states to get one for made up stuff, because it sounds like you could just make anything up then, right? It just sounds like you can make it all up, right?
Well, she's getting the attention now, but it's attention she don't want. I guarantee it.
It all makes
I
sense
haven't
when
seen too many
everything
people
comes
on
out.
her side. I have not seen too many people on her side. I'll say that.
No, because number one, it's in black and white now, isn't it? Court transcripts, it's in black and white. So we could sit here all day and talk about something, but you got to have the proof. Receipts means court receipts. You know, we've got them. We've read them. If you've read them, you know, they're all showing them. I mean, I'm not getting on my channel and doing the shit because I'm not really a drama
I
channel.
really
But
wasn't going to do it here either. So.
oh, sorry, but when we get into something and we're talking about crime anyway, might as well talk about that. But I'm not going to get on there and show her video and talk about it for hours and showing the transcripts and everything like that. You know what I mean? But it's all good to have your opinion. And I watched her all the time, but I was thinking,
the people that abuse the law like she's doing makes it hard for people that's doing it the right way and for the right reasons.
Yes, that's what I said. You're taking time from the court that he could have been hearing another stalker's case or something real bad. Do you know what I mean? But you've taken that slot and they have to wait. You're putting them back. Something like that, I'm saying. Do you know what I mean?
Or she didn't tell the truth. And then so when somebody else goes to file protection from order, they might not be believed and they might be in real danger. Lauren wasn't in real danger, it don't seem like.
No, she just wanted just for her to make sure she
wanted to be able
suffers.
to tell. She wanted to be able to say, "I got to go to CrimeCon," and she didn't. That's exactly what it's about.
Yeah, it was about something. The reason why she did it is because she's going to teach her a lesson not to mess with her and don't upset her.
Well, I think that's backfired.
Well,
Looks
the
like
truth's
it
come out
backfired
now.
to me.
The truth came out exactly what was going on and what was the reasons. Okay, then. All right. Sorry you felt that way, but move on. Okay, and you didn't have to make up all this stuff and put a video up of yourself in bed crying and laughing and stuff like
A
that.
9-hour video. 9 hours.
And that girl, one of the girls they were talking about, I don't know if it was Lynn or Linda, somewhat with an L. Well, it turns out they know each other. She said something about her brother was a doctor and she was in bed with the doctor, but she didn't kiss him. I don't know. Stuff like that is crazy.
This is too much for me.
Well, obviously, maybe this Linda didn't like her or one time, or I don't even know what was going on with the other women. I'm just saying with the other women, it didn't work out. Didn't work out with her.
Maybe the other girl, since she got embarrassed, you know, the cops made her leave CrimeCon. Maybe she should file her own charges against Lauren. That had to be pretty traumatic for that girl. And there's body cams for that. The police had body cams on.
Yeah, and who knows what she's doing? Who knows what she's doing? She might get slapped with one. I don't know. You never know. And Lori H said what she did to her about her book, and there's proof that she did it, and there's proof that she did it for the wrong reason. She said she was going to fact check her book, but she was never sent a book. She did a dirty one on Nate and said, oh, I didn't get mine. Okay, I'll send you the copy from the email because it was a link.
Now, when
But
you
it
say
was a
Nate, are you talking about the Idaho News guy, Nate?
Yeah,
That guy?
Eaton. Yes.
Yeah, Idaho News.
Some reporters that Lori chose to have her transcript, of the book for them to look at and give input on it before it gets published, right?
Are you saying Lauren or are you saying Lori? Because you got me confused.
Lori H., the lawyer, the book writer. Okay, she's
Okay.
the lawyer. She went to the Idaho trial for Chad Daybell. Well, Lori was on Lauren's show for about a year doing a little podcast, right? And suddenly Lauren didn't want her on the show anymore. Don't know what happened, why, right? But anyway, when the Chad's trial was done, she could finish off her book. That's when she sent copies out from her publisher, sent copies out by email with a link. And Justin and Nate were in line, and she was in line behind them, in front of them. And they said, "Oh," Justin said, "Oh, did you get Lori Hallis's book?" And he go, "Yeah." And Lauren said, "I didn't get mine." And Nate said, "Oh, you didn't? I'll send you the email." And she wanted the book to fact check it. But when she sent the email out to this person or persons, nothing was ever written about fact checking. She was just sending it to people. And she tried to get her book banned for using her work. She said, "That's my work in your book." Yeah. And she tried to get that book not being published. She caused a lot of problems for Lori. See, the truth comes out with this. What's going on? Why? And see, that's another person she did the dirty on. Why?
Well, it sounds like. But this is the thing. She did the dirty on him and is continuing doing it. And now this one's backfiring. This one is not looking good for her at all.
Yeah, but Lori H. Hellis, she can, take it to court if she wanted to. And she says, "No, I'm not going to do that." But you never know. Do you know what I mean? More or less, just watch what you say. Don't come for me kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But she did the dirty on her. And so there's another person. There's about 4 or 5 people she's done the dirty on that we know of, right? Within this trial, within the period of Chad and Lori's trial going on, there's the craziness that was going on. And what she said about Gigi, all the bad things she said about Gigi, no pretty lies and alibis, and what she said about the victims, I don't know what she said. I'm just saying that's what they said. She said bad things about the victims. And they got receipts.
You see, this one, they've got that channel that we just had up, Every Day with Jay's got it. And it says Hidden True Crime, Damage Control.
It was damage control.
See,
That's
I
why she
love
did it.
I love Duty Ron too, but he should have really investigated this before he went and did a show about it, because I wasn't too happy with that either, and I like Duty Ron.
Well, he just let her on their show and let her talk, right? Because it was the right thing to do, right?
Oh no, I watched it, and he had his own stuff to say. That was a threat. I watched her TikToks, and yeah, they were against you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did jump the gun a bit, and I'm surprised because like I said, I like Duty Ron.
No, that's what I'm said. He's like web sleuth. She never used to be like that. She likes to hear both sides, right? But he didn't know the whole story. He doesn't know the whole story. And he doesn't, just because he's an ex-detective cop, he's not the judge, okay? He's not the law, right? He's ex, okay? Ex. But they just saying, "Yeah, that's right. That's right. She should have left. She should have been arrested, because if it was me, I would have put her in handcuffs." Like,
that's
no,
crazy.
That wasn't the law. That wasn't the restraining order. They didn't say they couldn't be in the same room with each other. They just said they have to be 500 feet away from each other. That doesn't mean they can't be in the same room. Even the judge said that. She went to her space, not the girl come into her space. She went in her space. You should have even though you don't have the restraining order on yourself, you got one on another person. That doesn't mean that you should go to them and try to get them in trouble. Right?
Right.
You should stay away too. If you're too close, then you move away. She moved 3 seats so she could be on the other side of the table from her. That's what she did, not what the other girl did. The other girl was already there with her
Welcome to
friends.
Hidden True Crime. If you're
She moved to her.
She's got
That's another thing.
321,000 viewers that she just said all this crap to in a 9-hour live.
Yeah.
325 or 21,000 that she just
And a
told
lot of-
this story for 9 hours. This is crazy.
And a lot of those people are very, like, she's into the law, like law and crime and networks and that, like Eaton and Justin and all these people that she gets on the show. Do you know what I mean? You know, like Court TV and everything like that. They're not going to touch her now.
I wouldn't. She's made a fool of herself, if you ask me. It looks horrible.
They're not even going to bring her on to even talk about this because that's not what their show's about. They don't want to get involved with it. And they may not, I'm not saying they're not going to, they may not ask her to come on to be a guest again. Because, when you get brought on to a channel for a guest, you probably get paid a little bit of money, right? You get paid a little bit.
325,000 followers. She's getting paid money, believe me.
And all the tips she gets. Okay, good for her. But people tip her. When she did that show, I think it was the 9-hour show, whatever show she did. There was one person, they were giving her $100. One person gave her $399, gave her $400. I mean, they were tipping her really good. To listen, when a person comes on the show and you see them crying in tears, I got a stalker, she already got them. Oh my God, my poor Lorraine.
Now, I got a question. Now, her husband, John, right? His name's John. Is this him?
Yeah, that's her husband.
And he's the doctor, right?
Yes, he's got a PhD in something. I'm not sure what it is in.
Wow.
He's got a doctorate. But he says he's a psychologist. But I don't really know. I don't really know what his doctrine is in exactly. I think it's children or something. I'm not sure what it's in.
more nervous.
Okay, Nona. It looks like it's had 24,000 views. 8 days ago, 24,000 views. I can't stay
But she
silent
said she
anymore.
was
9 hours
stalked.
and 1 minute.
But she said she was stalked and bullied. But she's more or less the bully too. Okay, she's the bully too.
Oh yeah, she is the bully.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it. She's the one that was bullying. That's why she's firing people and she wasn't getting on with people. There must have been and talking about people. Okay, she's the bully. She's the bully. She must be.
Yeah.
Unless she
I've seen her
makes
husband.
friends. Unless she makes friends with a lot of crazy people. Do you know what I mean?
Well, probably because she don't know what true friends are. She runs them off. So she don't even know what a friend is. Well, Joe Smo's her friend. They're good friends now.
Yeah, but the thing is, she meets these people, okay, whatever she wants them to do, work or whatever, contacts. You meet good contacts, but she calls them, that's my friend, that's my best friend. Not everybody is your best friend and not everybody's your friend. And some people are your co-workers, but they don't have to be your friend. You just do business with them, right?
Would you even want to be her friend? I mean, my gosh, she seems very needy to me. I don't need
No,
friends.
if I met her in person and I was around her or something, I'd probably say something's up. Do you know what I mean? I would probably think, cuckoo.
Yes,
With what's happened.
Rhonda says it's been hard, but at the same time, I've had so much lifted because she left her ex-husband and got her a job. She's got a lot off her shoulder, making her own money. And Nona says she's happy for you too, Rhonda. We're all happy for you. Absolutely.
We are very happy for you. You got to keep it up and stay strong.
That's not easy to do.
Strong.
Well, not only that, I mean, it's a lot of pressure. She didn't have a job, and everything's looking up for her. She's got a job now, got her own space.
Well, that's what I mean. You got to keep going and stay strong, and don't let them talk you into anything, because they lie. Okay, it's a bunch of lies. You know, these people just want, especially your ex-husband, they just want control, and they want to control your life. Don't let them.
And she's
once
went
you're
back
away,
so she's not going back this time.
No, once they're gone, you got to shut the door and let them stay gone. Don't even open that door, the keyhole, nothing. You can't. Because they don't change, and they won't change. Not towards you anyway. They won't never change. Get the bad vibes out and live your life. You got to live your life. You're allowed to live your life happy and free, single, be happy, do whatever you want.
Making your own money. That's
Own
awesome.
money. See, you know, husbands that keep you at home, and then that's how they control you, because you can't leave. You ain't got a job. You ain't got no money. Where you gonna go? That's how they control you.
Yeah.
That's why I say never give up your job when you're married. You know, keep your independence. Have your own bank account. Keep your independence.
For sure. Well, this has been a great live. I mean, it was really good. I was glad to see the other here. She says, yes, he wouldn't allow me to go anywhere. Yeah. You don't have that
he
around
wouldn't.
no more.
He's controlling you from every way, keeping you at home, not letting you have a job. Well, he might not let you have a job, but then they pull you away from your family, pull you away from your social life, and slowly it works on you. And then they start just talking to you the way they talk to you. And slowly, you know, you just accept it. But then you wake up one day and say, I'm out of here.
She said she hadn't even been to a store in over 7 years.
To the store. That means you couldn't even drive anywhere. He had to drive you everywhere you went, like shopping and stuff like that. Or he wouldn't even take you shopping.
I haven't been to a store in over 7 years.
You haven't even been to the store, so you never went shopping. He wouldn't even take you. Wouldn't even let you go shopping. I would have hit him over the head with a frying pan or something. Man, left.
Hadn't even been out of the house. That's crazy. Keep doing good there, Rhonda.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't ever let that happen again. And you talk to us. We'll talk some sense into you.
That's right. Well, she's got a direct line to me. She knows how to get hold of me. I
That's
always
good.
respond and I always answer. She knows that.
Yeah, and just remember that, Rhonda. You're a phone call away from help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you stay away from him.
I always respond to her. Always respond to her. Very concerned about her. I'm very proud of her. This is a lot. This is a lot. But having your own money and doing your own things, it's a big accomplishment for you.
And allowed to have a conversation with other people and have a laugh, right? I bet you forgot how it was to have good time and laugh, right?
Mm-hmm. She says, I'm doing the things I need to for only myself. And I now have my daughter back in my life. Oh, that's awesome. He had taken me from my kids even. Oh, well, it's not too late. Glad you're getting them relationships back.
And when you got kids, they use your kids too. They use anything that's for control in your life to stop you.
You know,
leaving.
I got really, really lucky. My kids will tell you how lucky they are. Rick is their stepdad, and they just love him. They just love him. And he's always treated them good. And I'll tell you this, whenever there was something going on with my kids, I dealt with it. not him, me. I always dealt with my kids. Nobody else dealt with them but me.
Right.
Never
And
be afraid
sometimes
to ask ever again. That's right. You will bloom and grow and glow. My daughter is so much happier now. Nona's daughter's been going through a lot too. Rhonda says, yes, I can tell even by the way you type, Rhonda, that you're doing much better. We've had good texts back and forth by phone. Just keep your head up and keep doing good. Her stepson passed away in June of 2018. I wasn't even allowed to go to his funeral. Oh, hell no. Wow.
You
Sorry
see,
that he passed away. This is just horrible. He had you isolated. Absolutely had you isolated.
yeah, isolated and controlled from fear or whatever, just because. And he just went and lived his life and had a good old time. That just makes you sick, doesn't it?
It does.
I don't know why
But,
people are like that sometimes.
One thing is, she said for over 7 years, once you're in it and you're being so controlled, I don't think you realize how controlled you are until you get out of it. And then you look back and actually see how controlled you are. And you see where you didn't have the relationship with your kids. Everything's a clearer picture once you get out from under being controlled. Lots of mental abuse. I believe it.
Yeah, but Rhonda, what came to the final now that you had to leave? What did something happen? To finally you have the courage to get out.
She's been through a lot. There was DV and she got arrested and she didn't do it. And the cops kept her purse. Listen, he's put her through some hell.
Oh, there you go. You had crooked cops too. Just believe everything he said. Make you look like you're the crazy one.
Yeah, he beat you up, but you went to jail, right? Did I understand that right? It's horrible. Yeah, broke her glasses. Kept a lot of her property. Personal property that she really needs. She didn't have her glasses for a while. Even like I'll say it because I got the same thing. Here last year I had to get my teeth pulled, so I have false teeth. He kept her damn false teeth. Wouldn't let her have them. There, she said it. Took her dentures. That's horrible.
Took your glasses, took your dentures. He just wanted to take everything of your respect, right?
She had to get them replaced. He wouldn't return them to her.
Well, now you got a nice new pair to smile with. How about that? You got some lovely teeth now. Yeah, but that's cruelty. Control and cruelty.
He took it all from her. Nona says her ex-son-in-law now has a new wife, and he's doing it to her too. And her daughter gets to see him doing it to her all over again, to another woman, sick and twisted.
Yeah, if you meet the same kind of women that might be a little bit quiet, if you know what I mean, easygoing, they find a way that, I can control this one, because they only get with people that they know they can control.
Said she smiled more in the last 25 days than she has in 20 years.
And that feels good. That's great. Keep smiling.
She sent me pictures, guys, and he bruised her all up. She was bad. Absolutely bad. It was horrible what she's went through.
Yeah, and there's
that's the past now. You got to move forward, and you are.
Yep. And there's a lot of people like that. And nowadays, they're not going, the police, there's a law now that you don't have to put up with that, like you did years ago. When the police said, your place is at home. Yeah, your place is at home. And if your husband wants to beat you, he can beat you. Do you know what I mean? Those days are gone. Those days are gone. You know what? If I had a man like that, I think he'd get the frying pan over his head. I swear to God.
Well, then you go to jail. I mean, she's handled it.
Go to jail.
Pretty rough things. Took some pretty rough things, but you know what? God has his plan. He has his plan.
No, but I mean, if I was in a relationship like that earlier on and it started, then if you're going to do anything to me, you're going to get the front and you'll be out right away. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't wait years. I'd be wait for the first problem. Okay. I did that to my boyfriend one time. He did something to me. And I thought, no, what did he do? He yelled at my kid. He got into his face, right? And then he started, and I was thinking, it's the first time he ever did that and spoke to me like that. And so I took off my shoes and I got them in both hands and went whack. It's the only thing I had was my shoes. So he got a double whappy with my tennis shoes around his face. And then he left. He came back in. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I think I upset you." I thought, I showed him who was boss. You got my 2 tennies around your face. I said, and you're lucky it was only my tennis shoes. I said, because if I've had a knife in my hand or whatever, it would have went into you.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'll tell you what, I have a crazy moment. If you do something like that, get into my kid's face and yell at him and say something like you're a lunatic, man.
She said her ex says that he told the cops that she hit him over the head with a billy club and they believed him.
They just believed him without even marks or anything like that. That's what I say.
She had the marks all over her. Well,
yeah.
she says she's got a friend
marks,
from back in the day growing up.
Yeah.
She's got a good friend that's being her rock and helps her on her bad days. Keep it up. Just keep doing good.
Yeah, you hit him across the head with a billy club and you didn't have no marks or anything because you can't see it on the head, right? Because that's what a lot of abusers say. Hit him in the head, you can't see it.
But she's saying she said she did it and she never did it. She's the one that got trouble. He said she did that.
I know, but he didn't have no marks on him. So why is the police, they didn't even look for marks or wounds or bleeding or anything. She's the one with all the wounds and all the bruises. That's great.
Yeah, her daughter even said, if you'd have hit him with the billy club, it would have knocked him out.
Yeah, it would have. Of course it would have. And he had been hurting. He would have had a headache.
Listen, if I hit you once, I'm gonna make it worth it.
Well, if you hit somebody that hard, you better make it worth it. Or you better be ready to run. You better be ready to run.
She said not even a single mark, and they refused to even check for the gun that he had. Whew. There's all the reasons why you should be glad that you're away from that. Holy cow.
Right, because he could have played Russian roulette with you. Which some people do.
I'm not ready to go to bed. I'm wore out. Definitely wore out. She said, in Rock, you saw me. Yep. The gun that is not his. Yep. It's crazy.
Well, you're in a better place now. You've got your freedom and just live your life. Take it day by day. And things will only get better.
They've already gotten better for her. When she hit me up and said, well, they got my purse. I said, well, just call them. And then they told her that she'd have to call back on Monday. I said, don't stress, just call them. A lot of stress in between that. You just can't let the stress get to you.
Who knows?
7. Yeah, I'm gonna end this live. I'm ready to go take a bath and start relaxing. For sure.
Okay. See you next time, everybody.
We'll go live again probably Sunday. Sounds like it to me. We'll go Sunday. Nona says good night. Get some rest.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Nice chatting.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know it's a little bit triggering tonight, but everything we were watching was a bit triggering.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Sometimes you get that, and if you can't handle it, then you just don't watch the live. Do you know what I mean? Because I said put trigger in.
Well, we had several people that left alive, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay, because we know that we're talking about this triggering stuff, and it's very triggering. And, even I get angry sometimes when I'm listening to shit. I start getting fucking angry, man. I'll be like,
Yeah.
You know, like it triggers me like in an angry way. I'll be like, and I even, I get excitable. Do you know what I mean? I get excitable. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't watch no more of that shit. But there's a lot of stuff I can sit there and watch and it don't bother me. It does bother me, but not that way. It bothers me in a different way.
I think with me, even though it's hard to talk about, it's got to be talked about. So that's what I do. But I get it.
That's right.
I get where people would be triggered.
Yeah. But when you're on a channel and you want to do your live, sometimes you do talk about stuff people don't like. It can't always be good. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, that's true.
Especially when we do stuff like this. Do you know what I mean? These crimes and everything. And I mean, there's really nothing good about crime, is there? Do you know what I mean? It's all sad. It's all sad in a different way.
Absolutely.
So, but I couldn't do drama all day like them other people. That would give me a headache.
That's ridiculous. But they got 3,000 people watching that damn drama. Crazy.
Yeah, they get paid good money. If you can sit there for hours and do drama, I mean, good on them. But it's crazy, though. I don't know. I couldn't speak for that long on one subject.
Okay, guys. Okay.
All right, then.
Good night. Sunday, if not before. Much love to everybody. We're out of here.
Well, her name's Rock Chalk. She's the talk of the town. With a German Shepherd duo always sniffing around. Smith and Wesson by her side, they ain't just for show. They're the muscle when she's hustling, solving crime on the go. She's got her boots in the dirt, she's cracking the case. A true crime queen with a smirk on her face. Loves her country rap bumping, got that twang and that beat. You mess around with her, you're in for a treat. Oh, F-A-F-O, better watch your step. Rock Chalk's on the scene, she'll clean up your mess. With her dogs and her charm, she'll track you down slow. Oh, F-A-F-O, yeah, you reap what you sow. She's got a badge and a sassy attitude to boot. Kicks down doors like she's in hot pursuit. Smith and Wesson bark, don't you dare run. She's the queen of the scene, yeah, she gets it done. Country rap on the radio, she's cruising the street. From the city to the sticks, she's the one to meet. Her motto's real simple, don't try no bluff. Mess around all you want, but you'll find out quick enough. Whoa, F-A-F-O, better watch your step. Rock Chalk's on the scene, she'll clean up your mess. With her dogs and her charm, she'll track you down slow. Oh, F-A-F-O, yeah, you reap what you sow. She's got cowboy boots and a badge of steel. With a heart of gold and nerves unreal. You thought you could hide, but she's always in the know. Now you're caught, son, F-A-F-O. So here's the Rock Chalk and her Shepherd crew. Smith and Wesson got her back and they're coming for you. Country rap in her veins, she's the queen of the scene. F-A-F-O is her motto, and she's living the dream. Rock Chalk out. Hey! She's got cowboy boots and a badge of steel. With a heart of gold and nerves unreal. You thought you could hide, but she's always in the know. Now you're caught, son, F-A-F-O. So here's the Rock Chalk and her Shepherd crew. Smith and Wesson got her back and they're coming for you. Country rap in her veins, she's the queen of the scene. F-A-F-O is her motto, and she's living the dream. Rock Chalk out.